Salute everybody. The streets are buzzing. Welcome to the chat show. We keep it 100. We shout you out. Just healthy Knicks talk. Salute to the chat. Allah Wise, Robert Parr, Quiet Money. Salute family. Hope you're well. Everyone else watching. The New York Knicks took a tough loss. Back-to-back losses now to Charlotte and Minnesota. We're going to chop it up. So much happened in this game today, and it's going to be a talking point for days to come. Of course, the New York Knicks had a softer stretch in this period. Obviously, you've got Detroit still coming up, but it's not looking good for the New York Knicks as the schedule gets a lot tougher. But we're here for each other to chat about it. I'm going to be shouting out the chat. I want to hear your thoughts on everything. Nothing's out of bounds. I'll give you my thoughts, as I always do. And of course, we'll touch on last night's loss a little bit, but mainly the loss tonight or early this morning against Minnesota at the Garden. A salute, man, child. The New York Knicks lost to Minnesota 112-110. Of course, it went down the stretch, wire to wire. The New York Knicks were behind most of the night, fought with intensity tonight. Good performances from Evan Fournier for the most part. A couple of bad decisions down the stretch cost the New York Knicks. Free throws cost the New York Knicks. Terrible officiating tonight as well. 55 foul calls. We'll talk about it. But Minnesota were a tough matchup. I knew this coming in, to this game. Obviously, the New York Knicks didn't get off to a great start. Minnesota got out of the gate quite well. The New York Knicks in the third quarter, though, came out after the half and with a different kind of intensity. They showed a different type of intensity to work their way back in the game. They hit the lead by 7 to 8 points. But then after that, it was a critical stretch where they didn't score for the last few minutes of the third and the first few minutes of the fourth. And D'Angelo Russell, the talented young squad of Minnesota with Ant Edwards, Malik Beasley, and the like, just put their foot on the gas, got back to even. And of course, went toe-to-toe down the stretch. Taj Gibson, Mitchell Robinson fouled out tonight. The free throws as well cost us, man-child. Poor officiating. Thought RJ Barrett got shoved as well. RJ Barrett had a stinker tonight. Turned the ball over 7 times, critically down the stretch. Obviously, that out of bounds where he touched it last. But what did you guys think of it also down the stretch? The shot selection. Of course, tonight was also Kemba Walker's long awaited return. How did you think he looked? Kemba Walker gave us a lot more tonight than what I thought and than what I was expecting from Kemba. But in the end, it wasn't enough, right? We just couldn't get stops. Of course, when Mitch and Taj fouled out, Julius had to guard Cat on that pivotal isolation play down the stretch where Cat just abused the 6'8" Randle with more size, more length, and got the and one to put Minnie back up, and hearts were broken for us. I'm not mad with our fight tonight. Intensity wise, the New York Knicks battle. It was the turnovers, the missed free throws, and of course, a lot of other boneheaded plays. RJ Barrett turning the ball over, and Allah Wise, facts, couldn't score and gave up an 11-point lead as well. I've always been saying it. Inconsistency with this team. It's like quarter to quarter, day to day. We just can't seem to put forth that solid 48 minutes of great play, right? And then, of course, when some dudes have it going, other dudes have an awful night. It's like it's so even, it's so off kilt. We just can't get even balances across the floor. And I salute Sherwin, and Manchild. Yep, RJ was terrible tonight. Absolutely. He's obviously come off a really good stretch recently, but RJ Barrett's turnovers cost us tonight. And Robert, salute. Good thing Clay went over 19.5. He Randle and Cat made you $800. A salute to you. Salute. Good pick up there. And Manchild, what was Taj and Mitch thinking? Taking silly fouls, absolutely tonight. And that one, I'm glad Randle actually got on Mitch there. He had his 4th foul already, I think, and he picked up his 5th, where he was guarding Cat out on the perimeter. There was just no need to get up in him like that. And of course, we had Minnesota in foul trouble a lot of the time. We just couldn't capitalize. The missed free throws, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle choking on that one. I said it, choked. He straight choked on that one. Every time Randle takes that deep breath and that pressure mounts, he's just got to be better than that. But, overall, Julius had a good game. We'll touch on the box score shortly. But like Robert says, key plays down the stretch is when you need D Rose to make something happen. He'll get the ball to where you need to be in order to have the chance to win. Yep, D Rose is a playmaker, shot creator, a shot maker. And we really missed Derrick Rose. We missed Derrick Rose a lot. Emmanuel quickly also struggled tonight. It's been a common theme now that the bench, has been struggling. The starters played quite well tonight. I salute Evan Fournier's effort tonight in terms of his fight, his hustle, his shot making. But I question Tibbs' playmaking as well. We just can never seem to get a great look out of a critical timeout, right? That Evan Fournier shot. I know we didn't have the timeout, sorry. But with 19 seconds left, we should have got a better shot than that. And of course, Alec Burks got the broken play, had a second crack at it and still bricked it as well. So it just wasn't meant to be for the New York Knicks. But a tough stretch is coming up now. And LR-wise, Kemba's offense was good, but the defense can't have Fournier and him together as well. Facts with that one. Great point. Struggling, and Kemba Walker had it going offensively. Can you imagine what it's going to be like if he doesn't have it going as well? Credit to Kemba. It was a great comeback. He gave us more than what I thought. But Kemba's sort of fool's gold to me, because even when he is balling out, it's no guarantee he can really help the team because of defensively, what he gives up as well. But he certainly can help some teams. I just don't know what this whole situation is going to lead to with Kemba Walker right now. Is he going to be here for the long haul or not? Robert Parr, I was expecting RJ to hit another walk-off shot after having another bad game. That would have been nice. But yeah, what did you think of that final shot, that possession? That was critical. And of course, when the play before, when Cat took Randle to the cup, I thought that the double should have come. The double should have come, letting Julius there guard Cat 1-on-1, 6'8" versus 7 feet, the length Cat has. I thought the soft double should have come. And then as soon as Cat made his move, the help D should have come. And I salute Shah Legacy in the chat. Hope you're well, fam. And Jay Boogie in the house. Salute, fam. Salute. 3 capital S's. We did not have the timeout to call. That hurt us, Jay Boog. And I hope you're well, Jay Boog, in our thoughts, in our prayers. And, I miss you and, hope you're well. And, it was a tough loss for the New York Knicks back-to-back. 2 really games that we should have taken care of business, back home as well. We get some momentum this season. We win 3 in a row. And here we are back at 2 losses in a row now with Detroit. And then, of course, a storm is waiting for the New York Knicks as the schedule gets tough. Miami, Milwaukee, the Clippers first, then Miami, Milwaukee. And with Kemba and Fournier, you can't get stops tonight, right? I thought we made Minnesota look better than what they were. You know what I mean? Pull up threes, D'Angelo Russell, nobody closing out on D'Lo, right? Mitch is the culprit on that one as well. They hit way too many open threes. And Burks was a no-show tonight, but Tibbs still played him the minutes as well. It's going to be tough. Of course, there's going to be talk ongoing about Obi Toppin when Mitch fouled out, Taj fouled out. The collective world, held their breath to see who he was going to sub in, and he went ultra small with 4 guards. And I haven't seen the interviews yet, but from what I'm heard is Evan Fournier, sort of called out, threw a shot at Tibbs for blaming the fact that we had 4 guards on the floor, the fact that the Knicks haven't played that look very much. And Robert Sherwin M, is there any room on the trade? Is there any room on the trade IQ and Obi boat? I'm down for it as long as we get talent back as well. Facts, right? It's no time to be attached to players. You know what I mean? If there's a deal that makes sense, you got to listen. And what's good? Yep, 7 turnovers. RJ 7 turnovers and 6 turnovers yesterday, right? That's the thing about RJ, right? He's on top of the world. Then he falls back down pretty quick as well. But he's a young man. He'll bounce back. But yeah, we can't. It's hard to win consistently when players are inconsistent. Sherwin says we lack talent to compete, to be a complete team. We lost the game because we are a limited team as well. And Robert Pass, salute J Boogie. Allah, salute J Boogie. And quiet. What's on your mind? You're worried about the Knicks trying to make RJ a 2 or a 3 option when he's actually a 4th option as well. Yeah, look, force feeding, giving him opportunities, but he came up small tonight. Quiet. You know, the inconsistency is frustrating as a team. Salute Real King. Salute fam. Hope you're well. New York Knicks lose back to back. Of course, we're only 1 game under 500. It's not all doom and gloom, but what we are, you know, we keep it real here. We shout everyone out, but we evaluate what we see, right? What our eyeballs tell us. And the New York Knicks should be winning these games, you know, at the Mecca, right? If we can't get an advantage playing at the Mecca against the Minnesota squad and, of course, the Charlotte squad, that's what's disappointing to me. You know, our young squad versus other young squads, we should be picking up these dubs. IQ might be nervous before the deadline, is what Allah's thinking. I completely agree. I think no one's playing safe right now. I think there's going to be some unsettlement in the locker room. And I'm sure, and Robert, I'm down to trade Noel, IQ, Obi, Fournier, and Kemba to get picks or a star player, right? So yeah, the New York Knicks are open for business right now. We'll touch on the latest trade buzz, all of that. This is the chat show. Throw your thoughts and buzz out there. We shout you out. Jay Boogie says Burks, IQ, and RJ went to watch Spider-Man and didn't even show up. A great one, Jay Boog. That's the game right there. Like you said, spot on. Our soldiers didn't show up. Minnesota, basically their whole squad showed up, from that Noel dude to that other dude. Some of these names, I don't want to disrespect them, but I don't know all of their names. I really wish I did. But I know Carl Towns, I know Beasley, I know D'Lo, and I know Ann Edwards. And I didn't really know anybody else, but that was balling. And Roberts is starting to see the light. To Sherwin and Real King, we need to get rid of Kemba. It's an unnecessary headache as well. It's the elephant in the room, Real King. And it's even bigger now, the fact that he balled out tonight, but we still didn't win. People aren't really hating on Kemba, but their argument is, Kemba Walker can score, but can he help the team really win tonight? But I credit the man. He came back well. He gave us what he had tonight. If anything, maybe Kemba should have had more shots down the stretch, right? He was the dude to really give us that lead. He was that dude to give us a lead. And Sherwin doesn't like point guards that are less than 6'3". And arm, leg, arm, head salute from J Boog. It's not a coincidence that we gave up 112 tonight. Yeah, straight facts, right? On that argument with Evan and Kemba together as well. How long is it going to take for Tom Thibodeau to realize, continue to force these vets? Is it even his decision? Do you think it's more of a front office directive to play these players that were signed at least until the deadline? Then they can make an excuse that, hey, we made some moves, but while these dudes are here, maybe it was time to, play these dudes. And Real King, I appreciate that update. I didn't see, but apparently Jay Boog got a nice shout out from Q-Tip on Nick Fan TV last night. And that's what's up. That's real love out there. And Jay Boog, that's real love. And yes, salute to everyone. The chat, the New York Knicks fam are heavy up in here. We're chopping this double back-to-back loss up. Of course, Detroit coming up. I don't want to promise a dub to anybody. I don't want to look foolish, but if the New York Knicks can't beat a Detroit squad, we may as well fold it up for the season, right? That I can say. So we're going to come out firing, I think, in Detroit. And I think they're going to cop our biggest haymaker is Detroit, because these two losses sting. And Manchild says Cat is soft as well. That isolation play to put them up, that just hurt. I could see that happen in slow motion. Again, I'm like, why doesn't the double come? You know what I mean? Do you guys trust, am I out of bounds? Do you guys trust Julius to guard Cat one-on-one? Or do you think a double should have come? Force Cat to kick it out. Let anybody else beat you with a shot, There was bricking some shots. And yeah, I'm on this train too. Cam has got to see a lot of time and opportunity here, right? I've seen enough in this last couple games, right? I've seen talent, a young talent on Charlotte and young talent on Mini, and that's bona fide young talent that Cam Reddish is. We brought him in here, he could put on the deck. He's got athleticism. We need to give him some shine, right? We don't have too many players like that on this roster, if any, right? I can sort of see why people were higher on Cam too than RJ and anybody else, right? No knock on RJ, but I could see that Cam has the tools, right? He might not be where RJ is, but you could see he has a different kind of skill set. And Quiet, Tibbs, and the front office are definitely not on the same page, right? Quiet, this could be the story of the whole season, because defensive, coach of the year last year, great defensive team. And what did the front office do? They go out and get him Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. You know what I mean? They get players that don't match our identity, right? So what's going on there? That's why I'm not completely throwing Tibbs out of the bus yet, or under the bus, because first you got to get the players that he needs. No wonder he's playing Taj Gibson 25 minutes and the like. He just doesn't trust anybody else, but he shouldn't maybe be playing Kemba and Evan together, right? I would have liked to see Jericho come in those last few minutes, right, instead of go so small, right? Why have you got players like Jericho, Sims, and that on your roster? You've got to trust them with a few minutes left in the game. When everybody else fouls out, if you lose the game that way, so be it. But play the players that you've got on the bench, right? They're only going to learn, from that opportunity. You look foolish. We lost the game anyway. He goes with 4 guards. Julius ends up getting switched onto Cat, and or guards Cat, and of course, Cat took him to the rack, and the rest is history. We're back to 1 game under 500. We had our head above water for a split second, and it felt good, and now our heads below water again. And Sherwin says, I'm looking at people we should look to draft next year. 1, he likes AJ Griffin. 2, Ibu Dianku, Badgie, Benedict, and he ain't biased about Griffin. He went to the same school as his son as well. Okay, appreciate that look ahead. I haven't really focused on the draft just yet. It's early days for me, but of course, for a lot of people, it's never too early to look at the next talent coming through. Let Tibbs dig his own grave as well. I'm not married to nobody. If he flames out his own way, he flames out. Bring on the next guy. You know what I mean? I just want to win. And Dianku Badgie is a lot like Mitch, but he is a longer dude, okay? I'll try and get some draft guys coming on the show as well, just to throw that out there, guys. Of course, be bringing more guests on the show. And as we get closer to the draft and that, I'm definitely going to start, turning a couple of eyes towards, the next talent coming through. But Tom Thibodeau's here, and I don't think the draft is on their mind at all. And salute Johnny Davis. Salute Johnny's seen enough of Randle talking to the crowd and missing foul shots as well. Randle choked tonight. Played a decent performance all over. However, Julius did choke. Choke down the stretch. He's missed a lot of free throws. He wasn't the only one, of course. As we look through this box score, look at the free throws, right? Shot 9 of 11, but obviously missed the critical one. Walker left 2 at the line. Barrett left 3 at the line. Quickly left 1 at the line, and Taj left 1 at the line as well. And of course, the other night, it was crazy. And Manchild own grave. Robert, it was very interesting to see Tibbs go smaller when our bigs fouled out. A head scratcher there as well. Yep. I mean, especially when they're going to keep Cat on the floor. They're never going to take Cat out. So that was really, really interesting, Robert. As to where we go from here with that. Salute, Big Shiesty in the building. Salute. Appreciate you, Quiet Money in the chat. Everyone rocking. We up in here strong. The chat show. This is your show. You guys keep it rolling. You keep the streets buzzing, and I'm just shouting them out. And of course, this box score, right? It's there for everybody to see. It was a tough matchup. Apparently, if we scored 107 points, our chances of winning went up tenfold. But we scored more than 107 points, and we still didn't get the job done. So unfortunately, we lost it on the defensive end tonight. Guys fouling out at critical points. So again, brain fades, low basketball IQ from Mitchell Robinson, Taj Gibson as well. However, there was some bogus calls as well. So I don't put it all on them. The refs were absolute straight bugging tonight. Ed Malloy, a couple of really, really bad calls from the first quarter when Carl Towns, hooked. Didn't get called for a hook. He was doing it all night. Cat does that all the time. D'Angelo Russell pushing Barrett off that loose ball. But the New York Knicks, had their chances and they didn't take it. Manchild, 10 turnovers between Randle and RJ, right? Yep. Supposedly your two best guys. That's not going to fly. And of course, we had something like 7 turnovers in the first quarter as well. That had my blood pressure up, I'm not going to lie. First quarters, we were fighting all the way back. As you see, wire to wire there. We were down 7 at the end of the first. Then we were down 10 at halftime. A spirited, unlikely third quarter got us all the way back. But then we hit a wall again, and a 19-point fourth quarter is not going to get it done, right? So that's on everybody who played in the fourth quarter. We held them to 26 points as well, so we did our job there in the fourth. But to only put up 19 points, again, we just didn't have the talent. Didn't have the talent tonight. Kemba Walker, again, you can't say too much about his playmaking. When he's helping you, he's hitting deep shots. He's getting on fire. But is he really, really letting everyone else get involved? Is he getting everyone else involved? And in terms of that, what does the future hold now for Kemba Walker? I need you guys to tell me because I'm at a loss. Where to here for Kemba Walker after tonight? He played heavy minutes. Did Kemba Walker? How much did he end up playing? He played 30. Okay, not as heavy as I thought, but still 30 minutes. Let's see how he can keep this up, right? Had a nice stretch away. Looked fresh tonight. But could Kemba Walker continue to stay healthy and play more often than not? And a la wise, with all the turnovers we make, free throws, we still win. No excuse as well. Yeah, facts with that one. I don't understand the free throw shooting with this team, right? They need to put them in the gym, throw away the key, and make everybody shoot 1,000 free throws. Sure, when turnover comes with responsibility. If you're a lead ball handler, 3 turnovers is a good number. Yep. So I put it a lot on the coach too. We always seem to look discombobulated. Defenses tend to go to 2 type of looks that really, really rattle us. That is blitz and the zone, right? When all those turnovers were to blame because Mini was blitzing us in the first. We just didn't look right. We couldn't adjust. And of course, the down the stretch as well, the zone. Is it a talent deficiency? Is it the coaching not helping the team adjust as well? A lot of that. I think a bit of both. And Quiet says, yeah, what are we going to do, bro? As well to Shah Legacy. Randle had 3 turnovers and RJ with 7 as well. So again, it comes down to that full lack of floor general, in my opinion, ladies and gents. A true floor general. Kemba Walker again came back, gave us what he had. Right, very, very admirable game, but we still lost. So is his effect on the defensive end just too much to overcome in order to be a consistent winner right now. I'm going to admit I didn't expect Kemba to really come back. There was talk that, has he played his last game for the Knicks before tonight? He's been obviously a potential trade target out there. Kemba Walker, we don't really know what the future holds for him. And I was surprised to see him come back out tonight. But he did play well. And I'm really, really curious to see what happens moving forward, right? Seems like Leon, Tibbs and that, they want to go down on this ship, playing all the vets, just ride or die with them. However, Quentin Grimes at least continues to get minutes, which is one element I'm happy about. 17 minutes for QG tonight, was a -7. Struggled a bit, missed a couple of threes and just 3 points. But I'm glad he played 17 minutes, But do you guys think those are now Cam Reddish's 17 minutes? Do you believe, where is Cam Reddish going to fit in? You look at this box score, does Taj Gibson play a lot less? And maybe they sneak Cam some minutes at the 4. Quickly only played 9 minutes tonight as well, topping with 9. So where the heck is Cam Reddish going to fit in with this system right here? And Manchild, Leon got to find a new home for Randle ASAP as well. Not really sure what his trade value is right now, but the one advantage to trading Randle is obviously his contract, right? That contract's very friendly for some teams. But I think they're attached to Randle for at least another year, right? I think they're going to try to possibly build around him. And on that note, news that Miles Turner this morning, yesterday, Miles Turner has a stress reaction now in his foot. You can't make this stuff up. One of our biggest trade targets, Miles Turner, has the stress reaction now. So that's going to put a lot of trade talks on halt, or at least drive his value a lot down. Miles Turner, right? The New York Knicks were interested. Julius's guy. Let's see. Let's monitor that. The real king. Yeah. Are we building around Julius or RJ? If it's Julius, we are wasting time in his prime by not going all in. If it's RJ, why are we making it a top priority to surround him with players that fit as well? A great analysis, real king. I agree with everything you said. This front office is hitting a crossroad. I've been saying, you need to make decisions because it's not a championship roster they're currently constructed, right? So which way, right? We've hit a fork in the road, and which path are we going to take, right? Build around Julius, which is still relatively young, or RJ Barrett. You drafted a power forward with Julius here, and now they need to sort out that log jam. And Shah Legacy to quiet everybody saying RJ and Cam is going to lead us to the promised land. We'll see. Yep. We're very, very eager to see our first look at Cam Reddish, right, in the orange and blue. That's going to be exciting, in its own right. And let's see what Cam Reddish, he had a great interview in his first press conference, and Cam Reddish said that, he's looking to be a star, right? He didn't hold back words, did Cam Reddish. He's a confident young man, and I like what he said, right? He backed it up, he said, I wanted out of Atlanta, and I'm here. And real king, we have no direction as well. Yep, it's hard to see exactly which direction they're trying to go with. I just think they're right now they're just winging it to the trade deadline. And I like Kemba going to cost us more than he's worth, right? Facts. 2 teams bought him out. Again, he's still got some offensive game. I think he can help some teams. And quite Shah Legacy, I'm starting to think they got Cam to replace RJ, not play with him as well. That's an interesting take, Quiet. Let's see. We know RJ Barrett, he's obviously got another year on his contract too. And Robert Parr, lack of consistency just makes us look bad. Yeah, indeed. Especially in a year where the East is wide open. Admittedly, the East is tougher, but our record right now, we're still in the hunt. But this schedule has me scared, right? It's not the record. It's not where the New York Knicks are currently at in the record, right? We got days and months to make this thing up in terms of wins. But look at the record. I mean, look at the schedule. Man, does it get tough, right? We could not take care of business against some of these squad. I mean, it's going to be tough, right? We need a shake-up if we're trying if we're trying to really compete this year, this roster is not going to get us too far. And Shah says, Shah legacy, Randle wasn't the problem tonight as well. Randle had a good game. Randle played within himself. You see the numbers there. Great game from Randle in terms of, throughout the night. But, when it counted, he wasn't able to hit those free throws. And Quiet, was telling us about Miles Turner as well. That's going to be real interesting. Let's see what the Indiana pacemakers try and do in terms of their, what their asking price is for Miles right now. Because I'm telling them to kick rocks if they're still asking for 2 first-round selections. And Manchild, he didn't want Turner in the first place as well. You guys are smart fans, and you watch a lot of NBA action, right? So I really it hits home with what a lot of you are saying. And Shah legacy, my brother told me the same thing, bro. And Allah, that's good for us. Told you we need nothing from Indy. Yep. Let's see how Indy pivot with this news. Obviously, it's frustrating for them having Turner go down with the stress reaction. Stress reaction, no, not as serious as a stress fracture, of course, but with a reaction, that's how a fracture starts. And you've got to be concerned with a 7-footer, right? Absolutely. I'm not giving up much for that, especially the way Mitch is playing. I think our money could be spent better elsewhere. And look, I'm high on Cam Reddish. I really can't wait to see that young man come out to the orange and blue, because if he turns out to what we may need, then we need a sizable portion of our salary to accommodate Cam, right? We made the trade. It wouldn't be the right thing if he balls out and we weren't able to pay him, right? So we may end up having to pay RJ and Cam soon, right? So some big decisions for Leon Rose in the nick of time coming up. I don't envy this front office, to be honest with you, right? I mean, we're just observing it from afar. But, like Sherwin's been saying, he's got his eyes on Leon Rose and what is his next move. CP3 is one of the best all time with the assist to turnover ratio. He's a 2.44 for his career, and LBJ is averaging 3.5 turnovers for his career. And I salute Tay, welcome to the chat show. What have you got for us? Tibbs is his worst enemy. Good coach, but stubborn to a fault. The lineups always has me shaking your head as well. Yeah, look, sometimes you just wish you could sit down with the guy and hear his reasoning, isn't it? Because this radio silence that us fans deal with, it's tough, right? Sometimes we just want an explanation. And, I credit to every single beat writer, right? Sometimes the beat writers ask legit questions and they get garbage for responses, right? You know what I mean? They're there to cover the sport, cover the game, so that us fans can form a more educated opinion. And sometimes these dudes' egos, get in their own way, right? Especially, Leon Rose, a lot of talk, frustration from fans, right? Leon Rose has not spoke since, putting out a couple of statements, right, in the 2 years he's been here. And a quiet CT, I think Cam has a higher ceiling than RJ. Absolutely, Quiet, you could be spot on with that one. I mean, he has tools that I'm seeing things, RJ does not have. Of course, RJ probably is a more sound, fundamentally player right now, but it's going to be interesting, I'm liking the fact that both are here now, and healthy competition for both of them. Whether they're boys or they're not boys, I'm not going to be swayed by any of that talk, but I think there's going to be healthy competition between those two young men, right? You've been RJ, you've been in the orange and blue for almost 3 years now, and they may go make a swing trade for a dude you used to be in college with. You know what I mean? That's going to bring out the competitor in you as well. And those practices are going to be lit too. And Manchild, Randle somehow plays good when we go small as well. Randle somehow plays good. Yeah, I guess he's on an island a lot more at the 5 spot as well. But I don't know whether he's gone to Tibbs and says, I hate playing the 5, but Tibbs clearly hates playing Randle at the 5. He only goes there in the very last resort. And Sherwin says, the people that look for a foolish reason to hate Randle should learn basketball as well. Again, yeah, I'm not getting on Julius tonight. He had a good performance, but the free throws did hurt us. But he wasn't the only one, to miss free throws as well. Real King salute, thumbs up. Appreciate everybody. Like I said, Randle on the island in that last possession with Cat. I would have shouted out for the double, at least the soft double, because it was a bad look straight away. Cat had his way. He just had the length to finish over Randle, right? 7 feet or 6'11" on a 6'8" Randle. You got to bring Randle some help in that situation, and that's where maybe that substitution came home to roost for Tom Thibodeau, right? Every now and then you've just got to trust the players you've got, the soldiers you've got. But of course, Tibbs gets in his own way sometimes, right? He's stubborn to a fault, and he talks about his basketball experience, his knowledge, and all that, but that doesn't always win you the game, right? You've got to coach on a game-by-game basis. And salute Jonathan Green. Salute, fam. Tough loss to take, absolutely. Tonight's obviously a close one and fresher, but to be honest, the other night hurt probably more. The other night we were just non-competitive. That was just discouraging because the Charlotte Hornets' young talent just look far and above our talent, right? And that's what hurt me as a fan, right? I want to believe in our young talent in terms of how much they can continue to grow and stack up against some of this young talent. But Miles Bridges, they didn't even have LaMelo Ball, but Charlotte Hornets are a good young team on the come up. And of course, Minnesota are a good young team as well. But we've got to win these games at home, right? 2 games at home. We laid an egg. Now, chickens are going to come home to roost because we got Detroit and we got the Clippers. Those are 2 must wins. Then it becomes Milwaukee, becomes Miami. It becomes, you take your pick, a brutal West Coast trip right now. So the New York Knicks may have well dug their own grave if they don't get their head above water again, right? Their fate is in their own hands right now. And Jonathan says, play Obi Toppin 9 minutes tonight. Is he on the block? Is he going to get traded? What's going to shake loose with this situation, right? Because the whole world's watching, and whatever side of the fence you sit on, it cannot continue to go this way. It just cannot continue to play out like this with Obi Toppin playing 9 minutes, right? Leon Rose has got to man up, put his big boy pants on as a president of basketball operations, right? A player you drafted 8th overall is playing less than 10 minutes a night. Whether he deserves the minutes or he doesn't, that's bad business, right? You invested a heavy lot of something that you're not even using, and that is bad business because, he's losing trade value by the day. Now, if he turns around and trades Obi in the next 2.5 weeks, then okay, I'm okay with that. He's made that decision, but you cannot continue to run the course that we're on right now with this situation, right? There's going to be divide in the garden, divide in the locker room, et cetera, right now. And the fish rots at the head. Leon Rose is the leader of this front office, and that, Tibbs needs to do whatever Leon says. So it's up to Leon to make the call. And like Manchild says, the Charlotte loss games hurt the most, right? Even dating back to the one in Charlotte, right, where Kemba Walker got off to a hot start. Kemba Walker lit Charlotte up over there, at the Spectrum Center, and we still lost. And that one stung me. Divine was in the building with Uncle Folio, Uncle Freezy, and Stafford Don shout-outs. They saw it firsthand. And then I really wanted to get this one back. I'm like, okay, circle it on my calendar. Charlotte coming into the Garden. We owe them one. And no, Miles Bridges come out for a career high. You can't make that stuff up. And I want to know if Tibbs is here for first and foremost for defense and a defensive identity, why are we continuing to get lit up? Giving up career highs to dudes, right? Even I'm okay with being the Miami Heat system, double team, make somebody else beat you, right? I'm sick of letting the same guy beat us every game, right? If a dude has 22 points in the first quarter, I'm saying to my team, okay, this is what we're doing. This guy is not beating us for the next 3 quarters. I don't care who else it is, right? if a dude gives you 22 in the first quarter, where's the adjustment? And quiet money. Yeah, this Cam Reddish might be the player that gets the team going in the right direction. Maybe that was the plan all along. You bring in a shake-up in Cam Reddish and package RJ and Obi with picks for a bona fide star as well. You're on the money there, quiet money. I think whether or not it's to trade RJ or not, but I think the Cam thing was a healthy move, not just because of the talent, but the fact that it was a nice sly move just to show the team, hey, we are bringing in talent, right? We are going to shake things up, and of course, we didn't lose Kevin Knox for nothing. I'm finally happy we, unlike Frank, we made amends for a failed draft pick in terms of being able to trade that Charlotte pick and Kevin Knox for a much more talented player. And salute Jason, salute fam. Hope you're well. And chopping it up. The chat got us buzzing. Throw your thoughts, questions out there, observations, get it off your chest. It's a frustrating 2 losses, and we all need to talk about it because the schedule's getting tougher. And I think the New York Knicks have really missed a great opportunity. I was looking at these 4 games at the Garden. The optimistic fan in me was hoping we'd be 5 games over 500, by the time these tough games came up. But of course, now we're back to 1 game under 500. We absolutely need to take care of Detroit. We need to take care of the Clippers. I'm not sure what this current state of the Clippers looks like. I know PG's out. I think Kawhi's out as well. So I'm not ready to circle any game as an automatic dub, right? We need to take this 1 game at a time and get back to 500 now against Detroit. And of course, we're in 11th spot. Atlanta behind us. Thankfully, we took care of Atlanta because that created a bit of separation. And of course, behind Atlanta is the suffering Indiana Pacers. So the New York Knicks have an opportunity, to continue to push ahead because we have that comfort zone. We have that comfort zone from the teams below us, but we need to look ahead. 11th ain't going to get it done. And like Quiet says, the Clippers, they're still tough, right? A seasoned team of the LA Clippers, and they're going to be a tough out, ladies and gents. But of course, they're both at the Garden as well. 2 more games at the Garden. And it's just pitiful the way we can't take care of some of these teams, right? Tonight's loss just hurt. It would have been the perfect game to have somebody bob up and hit that game winner. We missed Derrick Rose and what all that he brings in the fourth quarters, right? Mr. Derrick Rose, he saved us last season, and maybe it ends up being, his absence, is ultimately costs us this season as well. I keenly await, a status on his health, his rehab, because Derrick Rose is going to be, a big part of what this team can do this year. But of course, Derrick Rose is 33 years old as well, so he's only here for a short time. He's not going to be here for a long time. And like the chat's been saying tonight, we need to make decisions. Are we going to prioritize some of our younger players and empower them to become stars of the future? Or are we going to continue down this role and kick the vet can down the road with the Nerlens Noels, Evan Fourniers, the Burks, the Randles and things like that, the Taj Gibsons, etc., etc. It's going to be, it divides the fan base, to be honest with you, because it's a bit of a joke if you have to say we're 11th spot and we're rolling out Taj Gibsons, Nerlens Noels, Burks, and all that. I mean, it's pitiful. There's teams with younger talent that are excelling over us, right? And we're supposedly playing vets to help us win. So, I think this deadline, it's going to be a pivotal fork in the road for this organization, right? I got a feeling, either Obi Toppin's going to be traded, Mitchell Robinson, a decision's going to be made whether they stay or keep him, whether they have plans to pay Mitch. The point guard situation, maybe they've had enough and they say, hey, we need to solidify this situation. Go get a Fox, go get a Jalen Brunson, go get somebody else as a point guard, because again, the Kemba Walker thing, like you say, quiet money, it's kicking the vet can down the road. Like I said, it's not getting it done. Whether he's playing or he's not playing, that isn't always the factor. It's the fact that when Kemba Walker does play, he's not that difference maker anymore. He's not that player anymore. And Shah Legacy is Ant Edwards in RJ's head. It definitely looked like RJ took it personal tonight, Shah. It looked like RJ, was trying to really make amends, after that quote that Ant said last year as well. And it looks like it was working, tonight, because RJ was fumbling, stumbling, and bumbling, like in the words of Clyde. And it definitely, I think it was in his head tonight. And and it always goes back to this point. It's tough to play in New York because when you have a couple of great games, the fans, the crowd, they show you mad love. And to some players, it does get to them, it gets to their head a little bit. It's like you win in New York a couple games and we celebrate, we're the best fans in the world, but we celebrate and we really build our players up. Sometimes they're not quite at the point where we're building them up to, just let these young men play their game, let them continue to evolve and take their lumps and grow. We are fans, we anoint role players, the next coming, or this dude's that guy already, and things like that. Just let him become that guy first. You know what I mean? Let us win sustainably. Then I'm happy to anoint someone, the next dude. But right now, we're stuck in mediocrity year after year. 11th seed now, head below water again. A coach that's 64 years old. Happy birthday to Tibbs from yesterday, 2 days ago. Tom Thibodeau, 64 years old. We know he signed the 5-year deal. He's in his second year now. Probably a decision's going to be made. I think if Tibbs lasts beyond this year, he's probably going to see out his whole contract. But it remains to be seen whether he can get through this year or not, or the end of this year. Salute Frederick. Salute. What did you think of tonight and the last 2 nights? The losses, they're piling up right now. And what did I think about Mitch's crossover dunk yesterday? Shocked me. It was a great move. I knew Mitch is capable of doing that. It just makes you think, what made him decide then? Did he just say, I've had enough of this thing? Mitch has been saying for a while that they've been holding me back. They're not letting me play, right? Maybe it was just an instinctual thing from Mitch as well. I think he's been confident. He's hearing the love and the support from the fans, in his last few games, doubles now. And he saw Plumlee sag off. And I think that I want to see more of that, Allah. I want to see more of Mitch, take control of, situations like that. The defender's expecting the handoff, the dribble handoff, and then sometimes Mitch does have that move up his sleeve. So I'm glad that Mitch finally, shown us that he has that move offensively, and I hope to see a bit more of that. And today, that ambidextrous flip from Mitch as well, I think that was nice. So yeah, it's surprising me, and I want to see more of that. I want to see what Mitch else has got in his bag. And Fax quite appreciate that. And be civilized up in here. Appreciate you. Tough loss last night. The New York Knicks, obviously, it's not a critical point yet. Back one game under 500, but what it feels like, it's making me go dizzy. It's like up and down, like a seesaw right now. We're coming, we're going, and it's unpredictability, it's inconsistency. Mike and Breen call it like they see it. The post-game MSG call it. We call it. Got to frustrate Tibbs as well. And I think some shake-ups coming. I think that early move for Cam was an early shake-up. What do you guys think's in store? I mean, given we saw that move so early, how can we not see another move? I think there's definitely, if I had to put all my chips on the table, I'd put them all that there's going to be another move, and it's going to be bigger than the Cam move as well, because especially if a lot of this losing, continues, ladies and gents. So the New York Knicks, in terms of some positives from this season, if you guys had to throw out at me a couple of positives from this season, what have they been for you, right? Has there been any positives from you? Is there anything? Is it, whether you want to get Tibbs fired out of here, maybe that's a positive for you. The losing. Maybe you thought last season was a fool's gold. Maybe the positive is that RJ, has shown some things. Mitch as well. Maybe you want Mitch around for longer as well. So tell me what you guys think. What has been some positives in the first half of this season as well? I guess one positive is I don't think we can get any worse. I don't think we can get any worse than what we've seen. We've truly had an awful first half of the season, but it feels like it's been even worse than it is. And Knicks 100 on the money with this one. I agree 100%. Quentin Grimes has definitely been a sole positive. Not a sole positive, but a bona fide positive. Absolutely. 25th overall selection. Quentin Grimes, has shown that he's part of. He's a piece for this future of this team. And I'm glad that the New York Knicks didn't buckle and throw him in the Cam Reddish trade as well. So Quentin Grimes played 17 minutes tonight as well, which I'm happy about as well. So he played minutes. His minutes haven't changed yet. But what does it mean when Cam Reddish is fit and healthy, ready to go? Does Quentin Grimes lose out some of his minutes? That's going to be interesting to see. I would prefer to see Evan Fournier dealt. Now, I give Evan his credit. He's fought back, what has been a tough half of the season, right? He's looked a shell of himself, Evan Fournier, but he's bounced back recently, right? So credit to Evan. But the main reason I want to get out of Evan's contract, right? I want to get out of the rest of that money and free up spots for a Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, and Quentin Grimes wing rotation at the wing spot right now. Right now, Evan Fournier is holding up that log jam from Quentin Grimes and Cam Reddish playing minutes as well. And the fact that we could have the opportunity to get out of Evan's contract and those dollars, that's too good of an opportunity to pass up right now, especially when you might be thinking you have to pay Cam coming up as well, right? Cam's going to be up for a contract extension in either next summer or the summer after that. And of course, Evan Fournier is going to be around still as an expiring deal. But the way he's been playing lately, maybe a contender looks at Evan like somebody who can help them now, right? So Evan Fournier has changed his trade value around in the last 2-3 weeks. And he seems to ball out on national television games as well. So that's been a big plus. Should we strike while the iron's hot, right? And get the best available deal for Evan Fournier? Like what I've been saying, an Evan Fournier deal, what would that look like? We would probably need to save him for a bigger, the blockbuster deal, right? His $19 million is critical. We don't have the money, the salaries to make up a bigger deal without Fournier. So look for Fournier to probably hang around for the next 2.5 weeks to see, and he may be a piece that needs to be used, in one of those deals, right? And maybe Obi is the icing on the cake. And Allah says, yeah, we could be worse. We could be Indiana, right? A team with more vets than us, built to win now, and they're even way below us as well. Facts, Allah, and that's why I mentioned earlier as well. The fact is, the New York Knicks have been one game under 500. It's been a bad first half of the season, but it can only get better from here. I don't think we can play any worse than the way we're built right now. The team's only going to continue to play better. My fear is that this roster is just not good enough to even do anything this season, and we're sort of treading water right now. We're kicking the tire down, kicking the can down the road. And be civilized. Tibbs bugged out by not putting Jericho in the game, especially when Mitch was in foul trouble and we were too small as well. Yep, I salute you. Be civilized on that one. That's what a lot of fans have been questioning now, scratching their heads, and I'm just wondering what goes through Tibbs's mind at that point, to go small with Carl Towns still on the floor, as well. And if I think you're going to go small, like I said, bring the double. the moment Carl Towns had the ball, right, make somebody else beat you, right? Make somebody else beat you with a jump shot. Leave Julius on an island guarding Cat out there as well. That was bugging. And of course, Mitch needs to take some of that ownership as well. With 4 fouls, you got a meaningless a 5th foul up on the perimeter when Cat was looking to do nothing, right? And that's been a trend that Mitch does time and time and time again, right? He has no perception of situations, right, and how many fouls he's got, because he was helping the team. He was helping, and you hurt your team. You hurt your teammates, when you make decisions like that as well. Yep, absolutely up in here strong. The chat rocking us, keeping the streets buzzing, win, lose, or whatever. When the world's crashing, we keep the streets buzzing regardless. And like I said, 1 game under 500. We're ahead of Indiana. We're ahead of Atlanta still. Let that sink in. In the words of man, Ron Cleveland, it's been a crazy season. Chicago are falling back down to earth. Washington, I feel like, are going to come down a little bit as well. Maybe even Cleveland. It's promises to be a crazy second half of the season. Strap yourself in. It's going to be crazy here. Trades coming up. Ben Simmons, does he stay? Does he go? What happens out in Sacramento? Portland, a situation. Indiana. Houston have a couple pieces that they probably want to get rid of right now with KPJ, John Wall, Christian Wood out there, Jeremy Grant. It's bona fide that he'll get moved by Detroit. Dallas and Miami can never sit tight. They're going to be aggressive. LeBron James is feeling the heat out in LA land right now, La La land. They're underachieving right now. It's going to be a busy trade period, and I'm here for it. And Knicks 100, be civilized. It's ego. He did same exact thing last year when all the point guards were hurt and he wouldn't even play Frank. He played Burks at point guard instead as well. Facts with that one. Like I said, with Tom Thibodeau, in his mind, there's a method to his madness right now. But from our perspective, it's just straight madness. You know what I mean? And sometimes, it is ego, to be honest with you. Coaches, and sometimes it's not a lack of experience. I believe Tom Thibodeau, in his mind, is using his 30 years of experience and trying to say, I've seen this and that. I've seen this and that from 90s, 2000s and all that. But you know what? This is year 2022, right? You got to be able to adjust. You got to be able to learn game to game, assess things, with your own 2 eyeballs, each and every night, right? Not be caught up in your ways from 2 decades ago, and stuff like that, right? The league's adapted, right? The league's evolved right now, and it's just it's frustrating. It is. And New York Knicks fans, we're educated. We see what goes on. I just like an explanation at times. These guys, they give the worst press conferences, right? They belittle the beat writer every time they ask a decent question, right? That if I'm one of these dudes, I give them their props and I answer their question straight up. Answer it straight up. One thing I could say about Carmelo Anthony, he always gave a nice straight answer, never dissed anybody. If he didn't like a question, he'd make a joke out of it and he'd just brush it over as well. But he didn't diss nobody as well. Leon Rose needs to step up and make some statements. Well, if the trade deadline comes and passes and Leon Rose doesn't say nothing, then that's frustrating. The clock's ticking on this regime in terms of this trade deadline and next summer, right? I know people say we're in the year 2, year 3 of a rebuilding plan, but it's all good to say that, but where is the plan going, right? Where is the progress? Where is the progress in that plan? What is the plan even, right? What is the plan to build around Julius, build around RJ? That's why this trade deadline will tell us a lot about their thinking, right? It's going to tell us a lot about their thinking. Before 2 days ago, I would have told you that I was thinking Miles Turner and Jalen Brunson would be a New York Knick, hand on my heart. But the Miles Turner news, I think that's changed a lot. I think that's changed some things. Jalen Brunson is obviously still, a very high chance of ending up here with the point guard situation the way it is. let's see how D Rose looks like as well. Facts Allah, be civilized. And yeah, Allah says I would have played Frank either, or maybe says I wouldn't have played Frank either. Yep, as well. So yeah, look, Tibbs doesn't trust certain dudes. He just doesn't. He uses practice. He uses all of that to judge, right? And they're big analytics here as well. And I salute 007 Angelo. Appreciate you. Stay safe. The chat's here heavy, keeping us buzzing as well. And yeah, big ups to you. And yeah, stay safe out there. This New York Knicks train continues to roll regardless, right? Win or lose. There's always talking points. How can we get better, right? How can we evolve to the next step? We want to get closer to a championship. We don't want to be run of the mill. We don't want to be, mediocre every year, right? We're trying to make moves to get us closer. The NBA is the hardest league I'm seeing in the world to win. 30 teams, right? Teams rebuilding quickly in the blink of an eye. You got Chicago, Washington, Cleveland overtook us. Maybe Charlotte's overtaken us in terms of rebuild. Detroit, in the blink of an eye with more lottery selections, more generational talent, they might pass us in the blink of an eye. It's crazy out here, right? And we're building around Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. We whiffed on Miles Bridges. Sometimes you can whiff on a couple draft picks, and that can just set your organization back, right? It can set it back so far that you just can't count the years how far it set you back. And at the end of the day, we need to seize the opportunity, right? If Ben Simmons is available, see if you can seize that opportunity, right? He's a generational talent, right? Sometimes you just need generational talent up in here, and peace, dear Ras. Peace. Let's get it. Knicks 100, let me ask you something, and I want all honesty. Do you ever hear from the Nets front office as well? I don't think we do, actually. I don't think we hear from the net. Oh, actually, we do. Sean Marks, I believe, right? Sean Marks. I think he throws statements out there. Salute IQJ and Soulfinger, number 12. Salute Hall of Famers up in here. Appreciate you as always. And Knicks 100, he likes the fact that our front office keep everybody in the dark until we do what we do, until we make the move as well. Yeah, I can understand that as well. Knicks 100. Sometimes you just don't want the distractions. You don't want the drama, and you just want the on the court news speak for itself. So I can definitely understand that. Me personally, I'm somebody who would like Leon to just talk, not talk willy nilly, not talk too often, but talk when he needs to talk. When there's trades, meet the beat writers, meet the reporters, 4 times a year or something. Not crazy often, but something. And yes indeed. We've got the voice of truth up in here. Everybody keeping it real. Appreciate you, IQ, as always, rocking with us. Allah, if the front office told us what they was going to do ahead of time, what would we do with the info? Yeah, facts. Yep, we got champs up in here. We got queens, kings, and we keep it real. This is the chat show. We shout you out. Just healthy Knicks talk, right? Give us your honest opinions, observations, right? I'm trying to look ahead to the future. I'm tired of a win and a loss. I'm 30-year Knick fan here. Enjoyed the early 90s, enjoyed the late 90s, the early 2000s. But after that, you know what I mean? It's just been straight mediocrity, you know what I mean? And we ride or die, but at the end of the day, we want to see progress. And I'm trying to look at what's the next step. So I want you guys to tell me again, what's been the positives from this season so far. Salute Knicks 100 told us Quentin Grimes, right? This front office has proven that they can draft some talent given the selections of where they're at. And I agree with that. I completely agree wholeheartedly. This front office has shown me that they can draft. Walt Perrin, the scouts out there in the world, the European scouts. Shout out to Kevin Wilson out there in Europe. Roka Biatis out here looking the business out here with pick 34. Deuce McBride, pick 36. Jericho Sims. So let's see. That's been one main positive. I agree with Knicks 100. And Robert says, how bad does our center position look right now? I think a big and a guard will be in the same trade, even if we make a move as well. Yep. They're two big need positions of need, Robert. Facts. And Mikey T, appreciate you. I believe in Leon still. Let's look forward to his next big splash as well. Yep. We're evaluating as we go. And like I said, a lot of fans are looking at the progress in this regime, right? Leon Rose been with us, 2.5 years now, 3 years. The time's getting nigh in terms of he's not putting this front office back. He's not setting the organization back. So that's a win. But are we moving forward, right? How else can we move forward with this situation? I love the flexibility that this front office got us in. We got picks and trades to wheel and deal. I'm concerned about what level of talent they can bring in terms of free agency or trades. I believe in their drafting as well. So appreciate that comment, Mike. Allah, got to move in silence and don't let people steal the ideas as well. The thing is as well, there is an element of consistency with the front office, right? The moves like Miles Turner, Jalen Brunson, they leak out because the front office is consistent with wanting dudes with intel, dudes within the family, CAA, Kentucky connections with Leon and the such and players as well. So that element they can't hide their bluff in terms of some of those moves as well. But I love the Cam Reddish move that definitely blindsided me. And salute Soulfinger, be civilized, all good on the west side. Tired of taking the L's. Facts. Yep, be civilized. Yeah, to Robert Parr, very bad, especially when you have a coach that don't use Big 15, Jericho, Walls of Jericho. And Mike T, yeah, Quentin and Deuce can ball as well. Just makes you wonder, how much can their ceiling, how high can it be, and how are they going to get the opportunity in New York to be the players that we hope they can be as well, with the vets ahead of them. But I do like the way they're bringing Quentin Grimes along, and I do like the fact that they're putting Deuce down in the G League for once and not just letting him sit there collecting dust. And IQJ will personally don't think we have a guy on the team we're necessarily building around. We don't have the guy per se. I think we gave plenty of assets from the draft as well, picks to be flexible, and flexible contracts as well. Yeah, facts, IQ with that one. Definitely on the money. Maybe we're not building around anybody. It's just, I guess, they're going to make a decision pretty soon. I feel pretty soon in terms of RJ coming up, Julius, and who else do they spend their money on, right? Because before you know it, we're using cheap contracts right now. Before you know it, we're going to have to start really paying big, for some of these guys. And salute Knicks 100. Allah wise, we was first to make roster space for 2 max dudes, but we showed our hand too early, and Nets did the exact same thing a few weeks later as well. That's a good point. Knicks 100 as well. Rumblings, there's tampering in the league, whether people deny it or not. There's tampering. If one team hears rumblings that dudes are trying to, pair up and be a big 3 or 2, then other teams find out pretty quickly as well. Robert says, yeah, be civ, bro. It's very sad. And be civilized, Soulfinger. Yeah, these L's that MSG facts hurt us a lot, right? The fans pay their hard-earned, New York City, teams come in here and try and make us a joke, right? Young players lighting us up, full of confidence. It hurts me to hear every young player say, I love balling out at MSG. MSG is my favorite place to play. MSG is my favorite place to play. You know what? We should be wanting to make sure that MSG is the worst place players want to play, right? We should be giving them hell, right? We should be making Madison Square Garden a place that they're scared to play at, right? And sometimes the crowd gets soft, you know what I mean? It's not their fault, but there's tourists up in there. There's, people giving tickets away, reselling tickets and stuff. MSG should be a fortress right now. Right now it's just a party for the opposing teams. That's hurting me. And and the refs too, be civilized. The refs hurt us, straight facts. They don't give the home team the benefit of the doubt. It's annoying. And 007 Angelo, Tibbs giving Obi and the Kev Knox treatment. He's going to ruin his confidence. I'm disgusted with Tibbs's rotations as well. Venting your frustration there. I hear you, fam. And yeah, at the same time, whether you're on Tibbs's train or not, I think if it doesn't work out, Tibbs is just digging his own grave right now. He's made his decision to play vets, wholeheartedly and rock with them, and to a fault a lot of the time, especially with the Taj Gibson thing, the Derrick Rose thing. I mean, there is going to come to a point where they're going to break down like Derrick does, and Taj, can't continue to play like this forever, heavy minutes. It's okay to take a few losses by blooding your young players, put them in situations where they're going to grow and be better and better at it. Tonight was a good chance to give Jericho Sims a chance, an opportunity to prove, hey, is this a young player that can give us something in the future? I mean, it ain't like he's never played a game before, right? He can come on the floor for 3 minutes and defend. You know what I mean? Give him some coaching, coach him up, show him the other players' tendencies. Say, don't foul, just D up straight up and see what the young man can give you. But, Tibbs goes what he goes with. And, sometimes, with Solfinger too, Tibbs killing him by not using Sims. Yeah, you get it, he's raw, but why in the world are you running Taj out there? Yep, facts, right? You got a young player there, you selected. At the end of the day, it just looks bad when you're losing still and you're playing 36-year-olds, Sometimes these young players are the opposite. Sometimes they can help you pull out the win as well. It's all about trust. It's about trust. And D. Russ, he's tired of the coaching decision loss as well. Killing me, Solfinger. And back to the front office topic, Allah says, got to keep the cards close to your vest. Let us read about it in the morning as well. That is one encourageable thing, that things don't leak out as well with this organization. And fans getting more frustrated with Tibbs and some of the decisions he's making. And they've been mastering it to the fullest. Knicks 100. You have no clue what the Knicks are up to with this front office as well. Yet the Cam Reddish thing came out of the blue. And I appreciate you, King Dizo. Don't have to be sorry about the loss at all, but we're chopping it up. And in terms of what's next for this this team, 2 very, very winnable games. And if we drop these, right, I think that's just going to pivot to us, at the trade deadline in terms of making wholesale changes, right? If we fall down too far, I guess what do you guys think about the play-in too? Give me your honest opinion about the play-in, because the fact that 10th, mediocrity, below mediocrity can get you in terms of some playoff experience, play-in experience. That's just giving fuel for fire for these coaches like Tibbs that love these vets, They go, oh, we could chase the play-in still so that the season ain't a failure. Well, in many people's eyes, making the play-in is a failure. You know what I mean? But it rewards mediocrity. I can understand it makes the NBA more exciting. The playing games are exciting, I'll agree. But on the other argument, does it give these coaches ammunition to strive for mediocrity and make the play-in as well, when you really should be looking out for that draft pick? Like Solfinger says, I've been screaming about free throws too all season long. Got to get that free cash and be civilized. Yep. We suck in crunch time when making free throws, especially the best 2 players in RJ and Randle as well. Again, I'm not going to say that it gets the moment gets to them mentally. I just think that they're not great shooters. Julius Randle's done a lot of work on his shooting of late. He's improved as a shooter, and same as RJ Barrett, improved incredibly. But I think that they're strong mentally in terms of being able to hit the shots, but they're just not great shooters at the end of the day. And IQJ, well, this season hasn't been friendly to the Knicks in terms of injuries, COVID protocols. It also doesn't help that the East decided to be tougher than the West. Yep, caught us all off guard with that one, didn't it, IQ? Ladies and gents in the chat, everyone watching. But you know what? I ain't mad at it. I wouldn't change it for the world, because the East has been least for so long. I'm glad that the competition's got tougher. It's going to make this front office, pony up and really, really test us as an organization. Because like I said, Detroit, in the blink of an eye, in 1 or 2 years, They could be where Cleveland is right now. They could pass us in the blink of an eye. You fall asleep at the wheel in the NBA, and teams can pass you real quick. Like we've seen the opposite with Indy, with Atlanta. They were cheering and resting on their laurels from last season, but Atlanta, right? They're the joke of the league right now. They were shouting Trae Young, generational talent, this and that. Now they're below us. So in the blink of an eye, you can fall right back down to earth. And in the blink of an eye, you could pick up an Evan Mobley, a generational talent, and be set for years and years and years. So, right, at the end of the day, this NBA and organization is a business. The smart minds, execute the business, successfully, and some other teams tread the treadmill. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just a business for them to make money. Winning and losing isn't maybe their top priority, right? The NBA is a business, and Manchol says, yeah, we don't have a coach. Be civilized. We make at least 85% of our free throws. If we make it, this would have been a different discussion tonight. Yep, definitely. Manchol from Soulfinger, he's doing what he always does. Yep, burn out the team. And by the playoffs, the vets will be tired because Tibbs running him to the ground as well. From Manchol, salute Sharp Hours, salute fam, salute. Tough 2 losses, Shah. And I think what you've been saying to me is terms of shake up. Let's see what this front office can pull out, Shah, in terms of the shake ups. The Evan Turner thing's thrown a spanner in the works right now. Maybe they pull off a move that, like we've been saying, we just heard no rumors or rumblings or anything. In 007, Grimes should have been in the end instead of Burks, who was ice cold as well. Yeah, I'd have been with that too. That would have been a nice decision to give Quentin Grimes that experience on the floor, right? He can defend, he can hit the shot. Allah says, yeah, if you get in the play-in, you have a chance to win the chip. Playoffs are a new season. Got to learn not to take games for granted. Got to play to win or go home basketball as well. Yep. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's exciting ball. Great experience for the young players too, to learn and grow as well. At the same time, I think the new tanking rules also changed for the biggest reason in terms of players, teams not wanting to tank now because they're unsure whether they would get rewarded with a great pick anyway. And sometimes, the play-in is a bit more enticing, for your organization and for the improvements as well. Mike T, we've come a long way. Let's not forget how pathetic the era of Derek Fisher and David Fizdale was as well. Yep, Mike T, great comment. Definitely, that's been one positive, not just this season, but over the last few seasons as well, that we have stayed out of the back pages, the dysfunction, the stabilities here, firing coaches and things. However, some people who hate Tibbs do still want to sack another coach. They want James Dolan to be paying another coach that isn't doing his job. So, and it definitely has been a bumpy ride, lately. IQJ, I think in the back of our heads, the fan base, we knew this season was going to be rough due to have so many holes still at point guard, especially. But last made us feel like a guaranteed playoff team as well. Yeah, absolutely. The expectations did it. IQ, they're definitely. You can be a victim of your own success. And imagine what the Atlanta and the Indiana fans are thinking right now as well. So, it just goes to show every year is a year-by-year thing. And, like I said, as a business, if you stay still, your competitors will overtake you. Your competitors are working late at night. If you're happy with your success, then, you could be a victim of your own success. And Manchild says to Mike T, we didn't have a good team during the Fisher and Fizdale. King Dizo, I really thought Alec Burke's going to beat the buzzer like that too, and get it for us tonight. Like Shah says, tonight we needed to see the Cam the Man Reddish as well. Let's hope he's inching closer and closer. I did predict the Detroit game might be a game we see Cam first. Let's see he uses tomorrow as practice. Today is practice, and let's hope, fingers crossed, that Cam Reddish can get in here soon enough. I'm really excited. to see what he can do for so many reasons. He can defend. He can break down the defense, right? We don't have those sort of offensively skilled players that can really break down a defense and have the athleticism to finish as well. We saw with Evan Fournier, he lacks that explosion to finish and dunk in traffic. RJ Barrett, too, doesn't have the greatest hops finishing in traffic. Alec Burks can't jump over a credit card to finish in traffic as well. So I can see why this Cam Reddish swing was it was a high upside swing as well. We need more players like that. Knicks 100, Mitch got cooked by a backup and had only 6 boards. Let me guess, he was guarding 3 people, so he couldn't check his man. And peace to Allah and Shah Powers. Even with the turnovers, we hit the free throws and we still win the game as well. Yep, we've been preaching all night long with that one as well. It's free money, in the words of Soulfinger, right? It's the sole fundamentals of basketball, right? If you're rehabbing with a broken Achilles, broken leg, or whatever it may be, you can still stand in the gym on one line and shoot free throws, as long as your wrist and your shoulder's okay. And that's a simple skill set that this game, allows teams to thrive in. But yet we're still here. We're still 2022, and players still can't hit free throws as well. It's maddening. Knicks 100. What's the other excuse for Mitch? Oh, his conditioning had to come back, but this is 2 games in a row with 6 boards. So is Mitch conditioning back or not as well? Sharp Powers, my guy Burks is burnt out as well, right? Point guard, he's a part-time point guard. He's supposed to be off the bench now, but he's playing in a different role, right? Tibbs is loving what he's seeing. He has size, and I think the biggest skill that Tibbs loves to have Burks in that starting unit is like a switchable lineup on defense, a la the Elfrid Payton madness last season, right? He kept Elfrid Payton there for way too long. People couldn't understand why. It's because Tibbs loves a taller guard that can switch on D as well and can make the defense, commit to somebody, right? We saw the difference Kemba Walker made tonight when he could rise up, hit shots, things like that. That's the difference that a point guard that can score makes for this team. Unfortunately, Kemba Walker's, gives it up on the other end, and he's a player that's going to I guess be even out at the end of the day, even out. So we need somebody up in here that's a two-way guy. IQJ, it was really unfortunate that the Knicks finally made the playoffs, and for once starting point guard hunting with nothing worth paying was available. It was a week off season as well. A lot of fans agree with you, IQ, in terms of before the Kemba Walker thing. It was a very, very underwhelming off season, right? When we signed Evan Fournier, people were like, most of the fans were like, well, okay, what's next? Right, we signed Evan Fournier, what's next? We don't even have a point guard still. We brought D Rose, Burks back, we paid Noel. But when the Kemba Walker thing happened, that sort of saved the off season in mind from people rioting. And the Kemba Walker thing, it was pretty much only a high upside deal because, it was $8 million and it was Kemba Walker. But you're absolutely on the money. At the end of the day, it was a weaker off season. Nothing to write home about. We didn't really improve at all. We lost our defense. And it's up to this front office. I'm still evaluating them. They have time to correct what they've done. Tradable contracts, like we've said. They've shown a willingness to attach weaker draft compensation to get a high upside player like Cam Reddish. I love that deal, trading the Charlotte pick. That pick wasn't worth nothing to me. We have more picks. The Dallas one's not looking like it's going to be a great pick with Dallas next year. Let's see what else they can get us and be civilized. Yet we need to start tampering. It's about time. Solfinger, I agree with you. Burke's been, free throws, turnovers kill us tonight. Mitch getting into foul trouble as well. Lack of consistency with that one. Solfinger and Mitch, in terms of his IQ, has all the physical abilities and things like that, right? You got to continue to grow as a player and learn, and mentally, as your IQ needs to continue, right? That was a foolish 5th foul from Mitch right there. And Manchild, I like Burks but the dude was off tonight, and Tibbs let him stay on the floor most of the game as well down the stretch. That's right. Tom Thibodeau trusts his guys, and sometimes it's to a fault, right? He'll ride or die with them. Alec Burks, we saw the vision. He had the chance to swing the ball to Kemba Walker. He rose up, pump fake, shot a contested shot, did Alec Burks. He didn't have it going tonight. Although the one shot he did hit was the one where the whistle had already been blown, of course. The Julius Randle foul under the cup, and Alec Burks finally hit the corner shot to put us up, but the whistle had already been blown as well. So Alec Burks, he's streaky. There's a reason he's been a journeyman. He's floated around the league for so long. Alec Burks, he's high commodity, high upside, but sort of high value in terms of his contract, I mean. But at the end of the day, he's inconsistent as well. There's a reason he signed for $10 million. And a salute King, salute. Manchild, Cam is the starting point. More trades should follow as well. With Cam, right, I'm really excited to see how many minutes he gets, and I hope he gets prioritized, right? It'd be frustrating if we gave up a first-round selection and Cam is not prioritized as well. So Evan Fournier, the elephant in the room, $19 million. I want to see Quentin Grimes get minutes, continue to grow. I really see Quentin Grimes as a rotation player for the next foreseeable future. Next season, continue to grow as well. That's how winning's done. We need more players like Quentin Grimes as well. Let him continue to grow to see what he can be, whilst on a rookie contract as well. And Tay should have put Sims in on Cat. You don't put Julius on an all-star center as well. Preach facts with that one. I was worried the moment it happened. Carl Towns obviously giving up. Julius giving up a lot of size on Towns. Took him to the cup, had length. Julius should have at least backed off, right? Should not have been an and one. So some foolish decision making. And of course, where was the help defense? The help should have come much, much earlier with that situation. And I would have definitely rocked with Jericho Sims out there, right? Had the size to body Cat and that one, You go with the next man in line, right? Mitch gets fouled out, is a center. Taj Gibson, has the size center. Bring in the next guy, Jericho Sims, 6'10", 6'11". See what he can do. But Tibbs ain't here for that. IQ, isn't it crazy what saved the offseason was acquiring Kemba? That is at the end of his career. In my opinion, that speaks volumes as well. Yep. And a lot of people have been saying it was a plan B, IQJ, plan C, plan D. It was sexy by name, Kemba Walker. How many fans really watched Boston games? How many fans watched, OKC as well? Bought him out. They wanted no part. It's tough. It was a swing for the fences move, and it just hasn't worked out. It was swing for the fences. It was save face kind of move. At the end of the day, I would have preferred to just keep Derrick Rose and sign a couple other young players. Fans were chanting Obi, and Tibbs chose Burks as well. Right? What footage that was when the whole world held their breath to see who Tibbs was going to call in, and he called in Burks as well. Obi was looking, and the look on his face said it all, right? Some talks are going to be had between him, his agent, the Knicks. This story bears watching, over the next 6 to 12 months. A resolution has to happen, right? Because you don't take a guy 8th overall and let this situation continue, right, for more than 2 years, right? Remember, Obi had his rookie season, which is fair enough, see what you got in your rookie, see what he looks like. He played well in the playoffs, looked like he could do something. This season, it's been up and down. And you cannot let that continue for 6 to 12 more months. That's just front office malpractice right there. And I understand their argument that they didn't know Julius was going to have the season he had last season, but that's fair enough. Now Julius is Julius. Then what are you going to give us? What decision are you going to make with that situation, right? Because does Obi Toppin even have trade value right now because of this situation, right? Speak to a team around the league. What are they really going to give you for Obi Toppin right now? And that's sad. 1.5 years removed from his draft, that 8th overall selection may have zero trade value, And Solfinger again, Tibbs killing me. Sometimes you got to sit your favorite guy down when he is stinking up the joint, right? Yep, coach like a coach. Just don't favor nobody as well. And Manshot, I can't complain about Fournier of lately as well. Yep, I agree with that. He's definitely playing his way back into some healthy, contribution or contribution and trade value as well. And yeah, look, we keep it real out here. Sooner or later, the fans, Manchild will be chanting whatever they want, whatever that may be, and it's not going to be a pretty sight right now. If the losing, continues as well. If Tibbs, it's all well and good. If Tibbs continues his line of thinking and decisions, and if we're winning, we're 5 games above 500. We're on track, improving from last season. But right now, we're looking middle of the road. But the league got stronger. That's the thing. I know a lot of people are saying we're the same record as we were last season, or we're 1 game better than last season. Well, last season the league was hell weak. The East was very, very weak. This season, it's not happening again. That the way we're playing, we're not making the 4th seed or anything close. And Tony, salute, not putting in Obi once again. All the bigs fouled out. It was wrong on so many levels. 2 bigs against Cat would have helped slow him down. And it's embarrassing for Obi. Glad the fans are calling him out as well. So, hey, the fans making their opinions known. I appreciate that, Tony. With that said, it bears watching because the noise is gonna get louder and louder. It ain't like Obi stinking up the joint. He is helping in different ways when he's coming in. In terms of his defense, there's talk that Tibbs won't play anybody that doesn't play D. I've seen Obi improve. I've seen him improve defensively, make strides. But at the same time, a player can't get better and better until they play, I think. Right. So I think what they're doing is they're mismanaging the situation. 9 minutes, 8 minutes, 11 minutes. Be playing him in the G League if you're doing that. Play him when Deuce goes down. You know what I mean? You're killing his confidence right now by playing him so low minutes, yanking him in any opportunity. That's just not how you really treat a top 10 pick. IQJ, I still believe the team will make the playoffs, but it's not going to be a pretty finish. And hopefully we acquire a guy that is a legitimate franchise changer sooner than later as well. I can't wait with you with that one. We need that. We need more generational talent up in here, talent acquisition. I'd accept a couple more years of losing, right? If I knew we were headed in that right direction, we were accumulating young assets, with high upside as well. Appreciate what Julius did for us last season as well. He's okay if you're trying to win. He's the 3rd best player on a roster. When he's the best player on a roster right now, then you're stuck in purgatory. You know what I mean? You're stuck in purgatory, I think. And Obi not getting subbed in could be a sign that he'll be a part of a deal as well. We shall wait and see as well. Good point with that. We'll definitely keep our finger on the pulse. This trade deadline is going to come in the blink of an eye. The Knicks will wheel and deal, I have a feeling. Let's see what they do with Obi Toppin. And with Tony, totally agree. Cat should have been doubled. Tibbs' coaching or lack thereof needs to be called out. He needs to get better as well, not just the players yet. When Cat caught that ball, it's like a person who never watched a basketball game in their life could have put 2 and 2 together and realized that Cat was never gonna pass that ball, right? So a double should have come. Definitely make somebody else beat you in that situation right there, especially with the undersized Julius. And look, Julius played his heart out tonight. Credit to Julius Randle. In terms of the box score, you see it. Julius's numbers. He fought defensively. He gave that effort that fans love to see and want to see every night. We just see his shortcomings in terms of the roster tonight as well. And when you look at talent, when Minnesota, you have D'Lo, you have Cat, you have Ant Edwards, generational guy. You have Malik Beasley. You have some supporting cast. What's his name? The dogged defender from Chicago. The point guard. With that said, Minnesota have pieces. They had the pieces that turned up tonight, and we didn't have them. And Manchild says we're going to regret if we trade Obi Toppin as well. He fears that when Obi gets to a situation where he can thrive, then he's going to show his worth as well. And a lot of fans are the same mindset. And like Diras says, even a pawn has value on a chessboard as well. A great philosophy there. IQ, not if the deal helps the Knicks become better. Take Randle plays best when he goes bully ball. Not many can bang with him in the post, and the defense collapses on him and he can kick it out. Not the face-up fadeaway. Credit to him, he's been more aggressive, though, as well. Great comment with that one, I agree. Bully ball. Julius is great when he's downhill. If we're being honest, he's a role player, Julius Randle, right? Outside of last season, on a team that's trying to win a championship, Julius Randle should be no better than the second to third best player. Being utilized, like you said, to his strengths, getting downhill, limiting those long mid-range shots, the three ball, has come back down to earth. Julius Randle, talented player. I'm glad we got him at the contract we got him. If we had to pay Julius Randle $30 million supermax, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. We'd be in a tough, tight situation salary-wise. And, a lot of fans have been saying maybe the reason Julius took that deal is that, obviously players bet on themselves, but the playoffs happened, and maybe Julius Randle took that deal because, like you said, he was comfortable. He was comfortable taking that deal. You know what New York's going to be like when he's getting paid the supermax, right? And he may have known how does this New York Knicks franchise build around me if they're having to pay me $35 million supermax. So I credit Julius for taking that deal as well. That just shows in my mind he's not truly a number one option on any team, right? Any player that was a number one option like a Carmelo Anthony or anyone else would have bet on themselves for that $30 million supermax. Next one, I hope we get Babe Ruth curse Red Sox got if we trade Obi. Manchild, I would trade Randle before Obi as well. Salute D, salute. The streets are buzzing. The chat show, keeping it real. Healthy Knicks talk. Throw your thoughts out there. Everyone gets shouted out. Knicks 100. If we trade Obi, I'll become a Nets fan straight up as well. Hey, passionate out there, I understand how passionate you are. Knicks 100. The New York Knicks, you just got to stay with us. Stick with the orange and blue New York Knicks. Unfortunately, we can't always be in the minds of the front office. They make foolish decisions. We live and die by it. But, at the end of the day, the New York Knicks, are the team, the franchise. We got to right this ship, And Tony, exactly, mistake to trade Obi, trade Julius instead. I'm in the position that if Obi get traded and get the time to show he's on another team, and in return, Knicks get what they need to succeed, it's a win-win. No hard feelings as well. So that's IQ's thoughts on that situation as well. And yeah, obviously you got to evaluate the deal, whatever it would be with Obi going in and out. Evaluate the deal to see what it is. What I'm worried about is that Obi's trade value. Whether even if you get to the point where you decide, okay, we need to trade him, what does his trade value look like right now? I mean, a struggle to think like how a rival executive is going to say, hey, 9 minutes a night. What do we evaluate? Like what is there to go off? How do we know what we're getting in an Obi Toppin type of thing? So that is the point that he's probably better kept because his trade value is so damn low right now. It's easier. The simpler move is just to keep Obi and just bet that he'll boost. He'll boost himself as in terms of value. And Tony, you'll get more for Julius. We always trade away our young talent instead of developing what we have. IQ, Obi will never get the minutes. I guess some would say Obi deserves, so why hold on to him? It's more selfish if we do that. And Manchild, if Mitch was there guarding Cat on that play, it would have been a different result as well. I would have loved to see that, how Mitch played, that situation, but Julius was just giving up too much size, and Jericho should have straight been in that game. Tony, if Obi is part of the blockbuster for the elite PG or a bona fide star, cool. I'm on board. But to trade just to trade is what the Knicks have done for years as well. I agree. And, to trade just to trade, in terms of they may have to trade just to clear the logjam. And that's unfortunate. Obviously Julius balled out, but Leon in the back of his mind knew Randle was on the roster. They've still drafted Obi Toppin as well. So this is their situation, their mess to deal with. They need to fix it. They need to come up with the best optimal solution right now for this organization, and make the best out of an asset, right? Assets that we have. Julius on his contract, he's still an asset, right? He's still an all-star from last season. He's an asset. Obi Toppin, rookie scale deal, player with high upside, is an asset still. How they manage these assets will ultimately be the way we're perceived, and how this generation, ends up succeeding. Whether we flame out Leon Rose, whatever, in a couple of years, all of those things. It's critical, the decision making right now with this situation. And like I said, Obi's value is so low. I'd be curious to know what kind of trade is there out there even for Obi. Maybe the fact that Miles Turner has a stress foot reaction right now, maybe that makes the deal more, I guess, even for teams, for the two sides. Let's see, hopefully, we don't part with any draft compensation, in any foolish deal as well. And Mike, have to recognize Julius all around will be hard to replace. The bully ball, the rebounding, the ferocity we need from him as well. We need him. We've seen games without Julius as well. Definitely Julius is very, very valuable on this current team to winning. There's no doubt about that, right? RJ Barrett's not ready. He's not ready to lead a team to a winning record. Neither is Obi Toppin, whether you like him or not. Mitch, none of these players are ready to lead a team to a winning record right now. I guess the argument may be, looking ahead, is Julius the one to keep around? Is a number one, number two, number three? What is this team going to look like, right? What kind of pieces are we trying to bring in to complement Julius Randle? If the plan is to keep Julius here and to bump him to the second lead spot, right? That's what, it makes the Kemba Walker thing more head scratching too. Paying Evan Fournier $19 million too, that becomes a little bit more head scratching as well. You drafted Quentin Grimes as well, doubling up on assets. It's interesting. I'm just evaluating all the moves, and let's see what they do at the trade deadline, because that's going to be critical, right? They earned a lot of points in my eyes with the Cam Reddish trade. It was a no-brainer. Didn't give up anything, got a high upside player. Let's see how they manage him now, how they manage that asset. And IQ, I believe the season Randle had last year ruined the Obi situation. Yet we just finished paying a power forward 100 mil, not named Obi. That should tell you Obi isn't a priority anymore as well. Great comment with that one. And be civilized. Only way I trade Randle if we get an all-star type player in return as well. Yep, that has to be the way too. No other way, right? We're parting with a big part of the team, a big asset on a great contract as well. If you do get rid of Randle, you got to get some parts for the future, right? Critically for the future of this team, you need to turn that asset into more assets, right? Not just trade Randle because his value, might be down a little bit as well. Wouldn't be mad if we just held on to Randle for another year or two and let him continue to, or hopefully build up his play as a second or third option, right? And then his contract will look even better in that situation. And IQJ, the only value Obi has at this point is the flashy dunks, youth, and his 8th overall pick potential. So that should be enough for some teams yet to take a gander at it as well. Yeah, I agree. And hopefully that is the case. hopefully that is the case with Obi in terms of the world still knows he was the college player of the year, 8th overall selection, that he has potential, and that the Knicks may be mismanaging the situation, right? I just think he's going to be a throw-in a trade, and I don't know if we're going to get back the kind of piece we hope to get from an Obi trade. Like I said, it almost might be worth just keeping him for another half year or more, just to see what happens there, see what Randle looks like a little bit more as well. And like Mike T says, until we get the Batman, Julius has to be the man for now. That he definitely does, Mike. And in terms of pairing him with that next guy and bringing in a true number one, what have we got to move for that situation? We got Evan Fournier. We need to either trade his salary to help bring in that other star player, or we need to wait for free agency, get out of Fournier's contract regardless, and so more money is freed up. Because I don't know what the current free agency market's coming up like after this season, but we don't have any salary available to sign, even if we wanted to. So could their strategy be to just maybe not make bona fide trade upgrades this trade deadline? Maybe their strategy is to get rid of Fournier and Burks Noel's contract and just bring in some expirings so that they have someone on their mind for free agency. Or the other way could be, like I said, to do the trade and to trade for a player that they might want to bring in that they think is a difference maker, whether it be Jalen Brunson, Miles Turner, sorry. So it's going to be interesting the way they want to make that next big splash. And Tony says, I agreed it was a mistake to go all in after the dream season by Julius. This is what he signed the extension. This is why he signed the extension, and he knew he could not duplicate it as well. Yeah, I think that had a part to do with it as well, not betting on himself and taking that deal that he said was fair. And IQ, yeah, MSG is missing a Batman. It's missing a Batman for a while now. We need that Batman in here to rescue us. Yep, respectfully disagreed as Mike. And Manchild, Randle is the third string player on a contending team as well. Yep, I agree. And some people may take that as a knock, but at the end of the day, there's been some great third string players on a championship team. Chris Bosh was a third string guy. On Milwaukee, Drew Holiday was the third string dude. So most teams that win a championship have a big three anyway. So it's no knock to be the third string guy. It's just that you need two other guys that are more consistent, I think, can carry you as well. And like Tony says, either you're in on the Obi hive, you can see this kid is being held back, or you're not. Much more than a dunker, in my opinion, as well. Julius is not Batman or Robin, maybe Batgirl as well. Keeping it real here. Tay, on a positive side note, former first rounder Lucas Samanic is balling in the G League at 22 years of age, average of 26 points per game. And our EuroLeague stash player Rokas is considered the EuroLeague's next star as well. So that's great, positive for this season, Tay. I've been asking the chat all night, what has been the positives from this season so far, and they definitely hit the mark with that one, with some of those. Luka, I hope he continues to stay healthy. I hope he gets a call up later this season. I really do. I think he can help give this team a different look. Funnily enough, another log jam at the power forward spot. I don't think Tibbs would ever play Luka at the center spot. Maybe Luka gets brought up if Obi gets traded. And in terms of Rokas, very high on Rokas, 21 years of age, looking the goods overseas, learning day by day. Landed in the starting point guard spot for Barcelona now that his teammate got injured, and he's grabbing the opportunity. So we'll definitely see those two names in the future. Or they'll be part of maybe a bigger trade, a package or throw-in as well. IQ, I hope, IQ, I can say this proudly, the Knicks do have guys on the team that can definitely help a superstar come here and win basketball games. Randle is a 19-10-5 guy, and RJ can take yet another step next season as well. So IQJ, great comment there. Always, focus on the positives. That, looking on the brighter side, this Randle can help teams win basketball games, no doubt about it. RJ Barrett has his future ahead of him, high upside, and will continue to grow and get better as well. It just makes it fascinating to see who that third player could be, if they do want to rock with those two for the future as well. Positionally, it makes sense for it to be a center or a point guard, to fit around those guys as well. And I'm equally high on Cam Reddish. Now, I know we haven't seen a game yet of him in the orange and blue, but Cam Reddish has got talent, unfulfilled talent so far, and really, really intriguing. And be civilized. Randle is a She-Ra until the time being as well. Look, whether you like Randle or not, with him we're mediocre. With him as our number one option, nobody can dispute the fact that this team is stuck in mud, stuck in neutral mediocrity. 4th seed last season was great, but look what we did in the playoffs, right? It's okay to make the 4th seed. It's a great accomplishment. But when you're a first round exit in the playoffs, that's not going to get you anything closer to a championship. Julius Randle's our number one option. I embrace him when he plays. He can help us win some games. But the longer we play with him as the number one option, it's mediocre. Look for a mediocre record, 500 or slightly above, slightly below. That's where we're going to stay. It depends on whether the other factors involved are RJ Barrett. How soon can he become the other guy? How soon can he take over Julius, or has he taken over Julius already? And then what do they do with the other money, right? It makes paying Evan Fournier $20 million more head-scratching, paying Nerlens Noel $10 million head-scratching. Alec Burks, I think, was still a good deal. Not mad at that. Derrick Rose, love me some D Rose. That contract's starting to look a little bit, like it hurts a bit. He earned every dollar. I'm not saying it was a bad contract in terms of Derrick Rose not deserving it, but in terms of trying to build for a third star, Derrick Rose injured right now, getting paid what he's getting paid. Let's see. Let's hope he comes back. He stays healthy. And be civilized, hit the nail on the head, right? We're 500. We're destined to be 500 ball club right now, which is okay. It's better than being a losing record in terms of perception around the league. But for some people who want to tank, it's to our detriment. Some people would rather really be really, really bad so that we can put ourselves in a position to get great talent, right? Me, I'm not one more than the other. I got no issue with trying to win some games. It's good for your perception around the league. And we are a big market team, right? We are, in the biggest market in the world. It's okay to try and win games, but for how long? Like Indiana's reaching, right? They understand, even them, at a point, you have to reach a certain point when you're just treading water for year after year after year, and then you have to do something different, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So I'm okay with trying to win games, but for how long? For how long till you realize your roster just needs to be blown up or shaken up? And Indiana might just be realizing that right now because they're not winning. And IQJ, I'm sure what we've been through, some gloomy, gloomy times. So when we have things we can be positive about for once, I'd like to think we continue to head towards the positive route as well. And I think predominantly the fan base is more on the positive side at the moment, IQ. Obviously outside of, the Obi situation, dividing the team, the Randle play, dividing the team. I think as the most part, people have a bit more confidence in this front office being a capable front office and this organization not being a dumpster fire. But at the end of the day, are those standards what this organization should have? We're in the biggest market, the most valuable franchise. To just be happy we're not a dumpster fire or we're trending in the right direction is good. But at the same time, we want to see us take the next leap. I want to see us move to the next spot as well. I'm patient as well. I'm not trying to blow things up yet, but it will get to a point where if we tread this water for another season or two, then I'm definitely for what Cleveland's done, what Detroit's doing. I got no problem with losing some games so that we may have a brighter future as well. Tony, I was never a Julius fan when he was on the West Coast, but gave him all the respect the way he played last year in the regular season. But a baller that cracks under pressure is a problem, in my opinion, as well. And definitely, I could see a lot of fans question Julius's mental approach. Aside from his talent, trying to be that number one dude, is he that dude that can be the leader mentally as well, and not be fragile, not crack under pressure? It remains to be seen. Julius Randle, his story's not written yet, I believe. His story's not written in New York, just because I don't think he's going to be traded this season. I think they're going to keep Julius around for a minimum 12 more months. And Julius's fate is in his hands right now. And I can also see some frustrations he may have. He took a pay cut. They spent money, whether you want to say wisely or not, they spent money. They didn't really get him much upgrades, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier. It's up to the front office to show Julius as well that they're capable of bringing more talent to surround him, so that we can win some more games and be civilized. Exactly, too. Boston's going through the same similar problems with JB and Tatum right now as well. Yep, decisions having to be made with that. Straight facts. It's a tough business, this NBA, right, to try and build. They pooed the bed with terms of their assets, Boston, and in terms of needing to make that next big splash. They waited and they made the splash on Kyrie Irving. It blew up in their face, and they're facing some tough calls right now. And with Tony, for now, we have to rock with Julius, so I'm going to support him until the day you're not a Knick no more. Yep, true orange and blue. I appreciate that. Rock with Julius while he's here. Yeah, understand the roster has limitations as well. Julius is who Julius is. Facts. I hope RJ continues to ball out and becomes that all-star superstar that we badly need from that third overall pick. That IQ, that's right, brother. I truly believe we'll all get what we want as fans, and that's competitive basketball with a shot at the championship. Hashtag our time is coming as well. Yep, I believe we're on the right track. I just hope we can get there sooner than what it may take. And D. Russ, Randle is Alfred's side chick. D. Russ up in here. Appreciate that. Be civilized. That's why Randle isn't the number one option, but playing that role. Yep, until we get it, Tony. As well, facts. Yep, educated Knicks talk, understanding with this one. Julius is our guy for now. We need to surround some more talent, high upside swings, whatever it may be. Spend the money wisely, which they've done. That to me, like I said, that's been the biggest positive. Spending money, trades, winning trades. It's 2, 3, 4 trades in a row. We have won, right? Trades like we took Ed Davis on for 2 second-round picks. We won that trade. We traded back to get Quentin Grimes, and we turned that pick into Cam Reddish. We won that trade. We traded for Derrick Rose. We won that trade. How many times can we say as a front office that we've won the trade time and time again? So salute to this front office in terms of pulling off good trades. Where they need to prove their worth is signing the free agent, spending the money wisely, right? And also the ability to potentially sign big free agents, right? Fred VanVleet, they were interested in him. He didn't even want to meet with the New York Knicks. I don't know whether DeMar DeRozan was interested, but they didn't really want to prioritize him at all. Lonzo Ball, they didn't want to prioritize him at all. He had his eyes on Chicago, I guess. Kyle Lowry chose Miami instantly. Mike Conley chose the Utah Jazz straight away. So I know it's been tough. It's been tough for this front office in terms of dudes staying with their teams. The NBA got what it wanted. They incentivized players to stay on their current teams, right? You don't really see teams players change teams a whole lot unless they're getting paid a huge different amount of money, or they're trying to force their way out, like James Harden, Ben Simmons, or maybe Donovan Mitchell's going to do. Donovan Mitchell might do that in a year or two. Zion might do it. So it's hard. You need a player to either force their way out, or they're usually going to stay on their team and sign the max deal, like Giannis did, like the other dude Booker did, and I salute Canal. Make Feb 3 grade again. No doubt, fam. The Knicks are not going to see free agency for a long time. This is why Brock has been brought in as well. Great insight facts with that one. Brock Aller weaving his magic, making the numbers work. Maybe trades, trades and drafting might be the way this front office gets us to where we need to go, right? Fleecing teams and signing untapped potential, or drafting untapped potential. And how high are you on the in terms of the Cam Reddish deal? I want you to tell me. And salute Tay, appreciate you. Is this channel officially promoted by the Knicks? I seem to get great interviewees. Great work. I appreciate you guys. It's all for you. Keep the streets buzzing. I've got the best audience out here. New York Knicks fan, ride or die. No, I do my best to get some guests on. The channel's not promoted by the Knicks at all. I'm working behind the scenes, behind the channels, speaking to some people, see who would like to come on the show, give their knowledge, their insight. Just try to get people that have something to say, something that people want to hear as well. I'm aiming to get, current, former Knick players, whether it be Westchester, current Knick players. That's challenging. More beat writers, guys that are, analyze the game to come in here as well. If there's any particular people you'd love to see on the show, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Let me know who you want to see come on. Like I said, I want to get some former players as well. Take a trip down memory lane. I've been a 30 years Knick fan as well. So appreciate all things New York Knicks, and you guys bring it. And Tony, Mitch can shoot the threes, but never takes one in the game. Yep, not even a 10-footer as well. He has the skill level to do it. Yep. And that's one thing that, like I said, on the organization, Tony, them putting your players in positions to succeed. I think organizations put players in positions to succeed. When you quash and limit a player, their ceiling, you limit their ceiling as well. I'd love to see Mitch do that move where he tries to take the guy off the dribble, even if he doesn't put up a jump shot. Just try and be a threat. Just that's all I ask. Try and be a threat. Get to the cup. And I love that move that he pulled off, that crossover. And I'm actually impressed that out of all the NBA players, Randle is the guy making the Knicks a relevant basketball team. I couldn't envision what with all the stars in the NBA. It was Julius Randle, mind blown as well. Look, last season was a blessing, right? Blessing in disguise. I'm impressed the fact that Julius signed the deal too, as well. I'm just optimistic that we can continue to figure this thing out in terms of who are the best guys to fit around Julius as well. Because we've had enough sample size where we see Julius every night. We know his game. It's no secret. We know his strengths. We know his limitations, and so does the front office. So, who do they pair up? If they want to keep Julius around, who are the players that are going to best fit around Julius to help us win? And we have a rising star, Jay Barrett. We see him each and every night. I think he'll be better for nights like tonight. He's going to have stinkers still, 21 years of age. He's got to learn. He's got to learn from it. And Canal loved the Cam deal. Great deal for a lot of reasons on the court and as far as the books are concerned as well. Yep, absolutely. Brilliant trade. Even has the ability to be a better trade than the D Rose one as well. This has the ability to be the best trade the New York Knicks have pulled off for, since the Carmelo deal. Whether you like the Carmelo deal or you hated it, that has the potential to be a deal as big as that. In terms of Cam Reddish being something, Cam Reddish being something up in here as well. Let's get this spam bot out here, and And Mike T. Allen Hahn as well, big thumbs up. Yep, love Allen's work. Yep, I'd love to bring Allen in. And what's good? Spree, Latrell Spree. Well, yep, I'll see what I can do with that one. Appreciate you giving me that insight. You guys, yeah, faithful New York Knicks, love your New York Knicks legends. Positives: Grimes, Deuce, Obi, and the youngsters were balling in the first half of the season as well. So another great positive there, Tony. And that's what I love to see too. If you're trying to win games now, to be able to see young players for the future show what they can do as well, and show that the future is also bright, regardless. I love the fact that they kept Grimes out of the deal for Cam Reddish. That deal to me would have looked at a whole different level. Swapping Grimes for Cam Reddish, to me, it would have been sort of more of a sideways move. But keep Grimes, great deal. Get rid of the Charlotte pick. Grimes has a future in this league. I'm high on Deuce McBride as well. I think he'll continue to grow. He'll be better for Westchester for the rest of the season. I'm not going to worry about him not playing too much regular minutes. I think he'll be good for the future. There's the whole future ahead for Deuce McBride. He's going to play more G League this season, and he's also going to play another summer league as well. That dude's got real defensive potential to be a solid point guard, either in the backup role or potentially starting role. If he really makes a big jump, like a Jalen Brunson's kind of jump as well. And of course, yeah, Obi as well had his moments as well. And Tony agreed. Evan needs to be cleared, but he has gained his respect and he's improved his play. And as much as we love Kemba, it's not whole if we can trade these two and free up time for Cam and get a legit point guard as well. I agree now, right? We need to do some addition by subtraction, right? Some addition by subtraction, I think. And that would make other players, give them a platform to shine, right? I think Quentin Grimes can really, really pop, really elevate himself if this organization gives him a chance to shine. And I really think that Cam Reddish can shine, no doubt, if given the platform. And who are holding them up? Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, I'm sorry to say. They're holding them up in terms of their ability to really, really pop as well. So it's a slippery slope in terms of trying to win games now with Alec Burks and Fournier, and also empowering the young dudes to be able to show what they can be in this league. I think Quentin Grimes is already as close as it can be to helping the team win, right? I got no problem giving him his 25 minutes that Fournier may get. And of course, Cam Reddish take Alec Burks' minutes as well. And Wise, Big Freeze, Uncle Freezy, straight facts with that one, doing huge things. Blorange Tears as well. A Big Freezy, great guest, always supports. And my bro, man, Ron Cleveland as well. Shouts out to Ron. And thoughts and prayers out there as Ron, is going through some, personal stuff with his family as well. But no doubt Ron Cleveland will join the show. He'll come on. We've spoke. We're planning to do some things, some shows together as well. So big Ron Cleveland, man, salute to him as well. One of the reasons I got into this thing as well. So a lot more guests to come through. Appreciate you all. And IQJ, if you had asked me before Randle joined the Knicks, is Randle a good basketball player? I would have told you, he's whatever. But now he's shown he brings value across the stat line to a team as well. Yep, absolutely, IQ. And look, Julius Randle's story in New York will live on, regardless if he does something here, if he doesn't. He has a legacy in New York now, because for this reason, he achieved something that was incredible in terms of he grew his game so much at the age of 26 years old, shooting, getting in the gym, commitment to the game, doing what he did. He found a home for himself in New York and got re-upped, right? So that's a significant thing that Julius achieved. He deserves credit for that. He took his craft seriously and he got rewarded, him and his family, and he'll have a legacy in New York. I'm all for players that really bet on themselves and, don't listen to the doubters. They work on their game, in the off season, It also goes to show you get with the right coach that can motivate you. Julius did say before the start of last season, I needed to get here and get tested by Tibbs. I needed a coach that's going to hold me accountable and challenge me, and that's what got Julius motivated as well. I just want to see Julius's legacy continue to grow, and be what it can be as well. But he's got to be in the right frame of mind to continue to want to grow. Take critique, work on the things that he still has weaknesses in his game. Julius Randle does need to continue to look in the mirror, right? That's how you continue to improve, right? You're never a complete player ever. From the day you start in this league to the day you retire, you're never complete, right? So continue, Julius, please. I beg you, don't rest on your laurels. Whether it be mentally, physically, any part of your game that you can continue to get better at, be accepting of the criticism, be accepting of it, continue to work on it and be hungry. Whether we bring in more all-stars on this team or we don't, know your role, play within the team concept as well. If you really, really want to win, be civilized. Tibbs is stuck in Xavier McDaniel days as well. Tough memories. And IQJ, yeah, be civilized says as a second, third option on a championship team. And shouts out to Ron IQ facts. Ron loves misses everybody, and is thankful for all the support, that's shown as well. Anytime Ron pops up on Freezy or For the Love of the Game, like and subscribe to those platforms. But Ron gets love wherever he goes. You know what I mean? He keeps it real. We all keep it real as Knick fans, and it's it's great to see us all come together on these platforms and share our thoughts as well. Because man, has it been rough, right? We are unequivocally the best fan base in all of sports, right? There's no need to even play out that argument, right? Give the New York Knicks fans the trophy because we are the best fans out of any team, any sporting organization right now, right? And scenes after the Atlanta series last season, we win a couple playoff series. You can best be sure New York City is going to be absolutely lit as well, worldwide. New York Knicks fans everywhere right now. Down here where I'm at, Australia, Europe, Africa, Asia. I mean, this New York Knicks fan base is worldwide right here. So with that said, we've chopped up this disappointing loss. We've talked a little bit about the future as well in terms of the construction of this team, how it's built. The trade deadline's coming up very, very soon. A couple of weeks away. It's going to come by in a blink of an eye. We may wake up tomorrow, and hear more rumors out there as well. So who are the players that you think are very realistic? Who are the players you would love to see this front office, make a play for as well, make a play and capitalize, right? Is it a player no one's talking about? A player with huge upside that you think is on the outer? The situation in Boston, there's a lot more buzz coming out of Boston, the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, situation. I can see wholesale changes there because Jaylen Brown, that where there's smoke, there's fire, and that name is continuously talked about as well. I don't see Boston and Philly making a trade for the Simmons, Jaylen Brown thing. So that's going to be interesting as well. That's going to be interesting. The Jaylen Brown situation. Obviously, the Lakers are in trouble as well. They don't really have any pieces, but I appreciate your IQ. Peace out. Let's get it on the next one. Salute. Appreciate your support. And Knicks will stockpile assets and keep Randle as the trade chip to go after Zion. Hey, that's not far-fetched at all. I could see that happening. Absolutely. Sometimes patience is the way to build the winner as well. Tay, great point. Sometimes there's no obvious move to make right now. And that doesn't mean you need to hamstrung or cap yourself right now. Continue to stockpile assets, like you say. Be patient. Continue to try and win and improve your your image around the league, and then strike while the iron's hot. This front office is probably, hopefully, looking ahead, right? There are no obvious names out there right now, but they've got to have their eye on some people, right? They've got to have their dream scenarios coming up. And I think, yeah, like D saying, yeah, Brown or Smart would definitely help. And you can see that happening. Yep. Jaylen Brown, give him a new environment, man. He's a star on the rise, continuing. I'm a Jaylen Brown fan. He's won my respect. Absolutely. I can see him continue to ball out, do great things on another squad. And, Jason Tatum, empower that young man and give him the keys for Boston as well. Put some pieces around that. I think it's going to be a win-win trade for Boston, and be civilized. Brunson or Halliburton, two really savvy players, strong abilities in terms of point guard, organization, shooting, just gamers and winners out there as well. I agree. I think you can't go wrong with either of those two as well. Obviously, they have their ceilings. That's what has a lot of fans torn on them. Fans want a really, really high upside star. Jalen Brunson, Halliburton, they have their limitations, but they would help this team. They're winners. They have clear, positive traits and abilities to help us win right now. And sometimes it's just about to take, building blocks, to get to that point, right? So we can make that big splash. And Tony, it's mind-blowing that Phil Jacks did not draft Spider and went for Frank. Can you imagine if we had drafted Donovan on the squad now? This set us back big time, and no disrespect to Frank as well. Definitely, Tony. We would be in a whole different situation, right, with the Kevin Knox draft and the Frank draft right now. Any one of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Spider Mitchell, a lot of those guys. So Spider in the Frank one, but yeah, the Knox one as well, with Miles Bridges, Mikal Bridges, Shai Gilgeous, and of course Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker in the Frank draft as well. So Phil Jackson, talent evaluation was not his strong skill set whatsoever. And D Cool with a great one. Sadiq Bey, young baller on the come up. Is Sadiq Bey absolutely, fam? Detroit are onto something with him. He went at Julius, right, that other game, and that's going to be great to see him, continue those battles. And it's going to be another battle when we play Detroit. That G League squad gave us hell last time with Sadiq Bey, and we can't take any team lightly right now. And Tay says Bol is going to the Celts. Hope to see him shine 12 weeks though as well. Yeah, facts with that. Appreciate that. Yeah, Bol. I know that trade got void after that foot injury, but he's getting surgery now as well. And yeah, the biggest surprise of the season are the Cavs as well, drafting again first and foremost, building a squad through the draft as well. A couple of bad years. Sometimes you just got to be willing to accept those, hit on your draft picks. And like I said, the route we've gone has been a good route. Draft RJ, draft a few players. We could have been the Cavs. We could have even been better if we'd got Donovan Mitchell, Shai Gilgeous. We'd be right there. Yeah, we'd be the young up and comer. And sometimes, yeah, you just ride or die with the draft selections. And 007 plus Leon doesn't get fleeced too. He's shrewd deal maker. Leon is a bit conservative in his trades. Where is the star move question? Plus, what player has Worldwide West helped to come here? Absolutely nobody as well. Yeah, I've been saying the same too. 007 facts. Worldwide West, he works behind the scenes, of course. He supposedly has relations with players all over the league, done favors for people, is a consultant as well. But, it wouldn't surprise me if it's all a bit of fluff too, right? Phil Dolan gave Phil Jackson and Fizdale the reins, paid them because they apparently could help bring players in here as well. So sometimes they just sell a bill of goods. The proof will be in the pudding for these guys as well. Leon Rose is definitely a business guy. He makes shrewd business deals. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, I think the proof is in the pudding. And like you said, who they helped get here? Absolutely nobody right now. Only be civilized. Only if we could get Murray, though, DeJounte Murray. Oh, man, what it's like would be a wet dream towards a beautiful woman, man, ladies and gentlemen. DeJounte Murray, yep, facts with that. Up and coming talent for the San Antonio Spurs. That's the kind of talent we need as well. Shrewd deal maker as well. And yeah, it's not all doom and gloom for this team. Like I said, in terms of flexibility, we're relevant. The New York Knicks are very, very relevant in this thing, and we're going to be a player for years, for the next few years with this draft asset compensation. But the decisions we make right now are going to shape how close, we get and how soon we can get there. Right, like I said, clearing the runways for the likes of Quentin Grimes, the likes of Cam Reddish to become that next star. Give them the platforms, the Obi Toppins, whatever it may be, Mitchell Robbs, smart a management of the roster that you've got, right? You may have great assets already on your books, but you need to give them the opportunity to thrive right now. And I think there's a couple of double ups on this roster, right? I didn't think there was much need for Evan Fournier if you brought Burks back. Of course, you could have chose Burks or a Reggie Bullock. You chose Burks, but then you paid Evan Fournier and you drafted Quentin Grimes as well. And then you trade for Cam Reddish now, and you have RJ. So there's a couple of double ups for me. And of course, the center position. Jericho Sims has looked capable. Nerlens Noel is a helpful vet, but at the same time, we could do without that. We could do with that $10 million. We could have done with Evan Fournier's $19 million. And then you bring in another bona fide star for that kind of money. And then you're really cooking with fish grease as well. So this New York Knicks front office, it's a business. Let's see how they continue to manage this roster, right, and make the decisions they make, right? If they move Obi Toppin on, I won't be mad at it. It's because it's consolidation of assets. But I want to see what they bring in for Obi. I want to see what they do with that move right there. I know they've got their heart set on Miles Turner. It's going to be interesting to see whether they pivot now with the stress reaction. It's not an overly serious injury right now, but it does take some recovery. A stress reaction with a big man, you need to ride, sit off and rest that foot before it becomes a stress fracture, and then you're really in trouble with that. So maybe it's an opportunity to really negotiate with Indy, negotiate that price, get that price real low, get that price real cheap, pennies on the dollar. Maybe Leon Rose can be doing some more fleecing with that Evan Turner, with that Miles Turner situation right there, right? In a desperate Indy. Maybe you could even get them a throw in, if they want Obi Toppin and a pick, or Obi Toppin and 2 picks for Miles Turner. Maybe you have the leverage now to say to them, okay, give us, we'll give you those 2 what you need. Give us Turner and give us someone else. Give us Brogdon. Give us Levert. Shrewd deal making, like 007 says, it's going to be full effect in the next 3 weeks, right? They did great work with the Cam Reddish deal as well. Great business with that said. How do they handle the bigger deals? You and I could have made the Cam Reddish deal. It's a no-brainer. Let's see them really pull off some real magic that has the league really raising their eyebrows, hasn't the Woj bombs drop like that said, pulling off some real slick, clever, shrewd moves. And that's like what we've been saying, like 007 said again, with Worldwide West, right? What's Worldwide West doing? He's officially on the payroll now. He's not unofficially on the payroll. So, he's consulting with Leon, with Brock Aller, the like. But yeah, one positive we do have on lock so far is the draft, right? We absolutely hit a home run last season's draft. Quentin Grimes, Deuce, Rokas, and Jericho as well. And of course, they corrected the mistake with Kevin Knox by getting Cam Reddish out of that deal, not letting Kevin Knox expire for nothing, for no asset whatsoever as well. So I salute the front office from that. What are some other moves? Yeah, you guys can see coming up. Do you think the Ben Simmons deal? Do you think that is something the New York Knicks are are really trying to look into. Me personally, I think there's good interest. I think there's interest in Simmons. I think Philly, they are playing real hard to get. I think they're trying to, hold teams to ransom. They're happy to continue to ride it out, let Simmons continue to get fined. I think it's madness, though. I think, although I'm not privy to the offers that have been made, I just think, it's smoke where there's fire, and I think they will end up crumbling. They will end up cracking with this strategy as well, because they will lose leverage as we go more and more. And like Be Civilized is on the money as always. Win or lose, we just have to let our young guys develop and play ball. It's all about proper rotations as well. Like I said, yep, facts. Giving young talent you've got the opportunity to thrive right now. And we're not managing the roster to its fullest capacity. Today was a perfect opportunity to trust Obi Toppin, your 8th overall selection. Trust Jericho Sims. What could there be to lose? He sat them on the bench. Didn't want to give them that opportunity. Maybe they have a career-defining moment. They pull off the right play. They get a steal. They get a block. They help the team win. Gains a heap of confidence. Maybe they never look back. And it's a sliding doors moment. You never give that player that opportunity. You're never going to trust them. You're going to end up with another Kevin Knox, just another draft pick that sits there and doesn't take that next step or that leap, right? And I'd Be Civilized, the 2023 draft too is straight fire as well. I've been hearing that straight facts too, and I can't wait to, to start looking further into it as the time comes. Hope to get a few draft scouts and draft analysts on the show as well. We're going to be doing a whole special on that coming up as well. What the class is like, as we get closer to obviously seeing what plays out. But the 2022, 2020, 2021, 2022 season is still in the thick of it, and that time will come as well. Facts. And D, all these moves are leading to the Zion, he thinks as well. I could see it too. Connect the dots with Zion, Cam, RJ, and obviously, it makes sense. It makes sense because they're building around players that are familiar. And if that is their plan, that's their plan. A front office with a plan is better than no plan, just winging it. Obviously, we hope it's the right move. We hope it pays off. Let's see. All the talk about Zion, maybe he's just doing what he's doing because he doesn't give. He doesn't give in New Orleans right now. He's unmotivated. You know what I mean? You get a motivated employee, and you're going to get the best out of them. He's wanted out of New Orleans. It's very, very clear. Other teams on his radar, and New York Knicks, you would have to think would be one of them, D. And what do you actually think of Zion? Would you be happy with that run, with that play for Zion? What do you guys think as well? It's hard to evaluate. Obviously, there's concerns about his weight, his level of, commitment to the game. But maybe if it's all a smokescreen and he needs to get out of there, he needs to do what he does, Facts. Be Civilized. And D also saw the Pistons' proposal offer for Simmons. Yeah, I saw that too, which was Jeremy Grant, Olenek, Bay, and picks as well. And you don't think Simmons is worth that much? Yeah, crazy, wasn't it? I thought that was a pretty good offer. And again, it could just be posturing. It could be posturing, but maybe there's rumblings that they feel like they'll get a better deal. Obviously, you always wait towards the end. And I think that deal will be on the table for the Pistons. Grant is disposable for them, expendable. Olenek expendable, and Sadiq Bey and picks. That'd be a nice upside play for Detroit as well. And I don't know if they're really going to get that much better than that too, which is crazy, isn't it? And 007, it's going to be nice to watch Zion get fatter and fatter in a Knicks uniform. That's Pelicans' headache. I don't want no part of a player that doesn't take his career seriously as well. I can see that take from you as well, fam, in terms of a lot of fans have that same concern with Zion. Absolutely. We've had our fair share of bad players in the past, with that same issue, and it causes for concern absolutely with Zion and how serious a player that's that wealthy already at his part of his career, right? His age, he's got endless, jump man Jordan money coming in, his rookie scale deal, the endorsements he's made, the money he's made off the court for Zion has just been unbelievable. And I think that would definitely be, somewhat concerning. I agree with that one, fam. But at the end of the day, that could still be, the plan. Could be the plan for it. And clickbait and poison trade pill as well. What I feel like for Philly, what I think is going to play out with the Ben Simmons thing, and tell me where you think Ben Simmons is going to go. But I think Ben Simmons' deal will play out like this. It'll be a 3-way deal. That's the only way I see Philly getting satisfied, the level of asking price that Daryl Morey ends up wanting. It's going to be a couple of teams throwing assets at Philly for them to eventually get what they want. I don't see no 2-way team trade with both teams just satisfying each other. I think another team's got to get involved, possibly even a 4-way as well, possibly even a 4-way trade with picks and assets, parts moving all over the place. And of course, why I say that is they apparently, rumors say they want to part with Tobias Harris money too, right? Tobias Harris money, $40 million together with Ben's $40 million. That's $80 million outgoing. So a 3 or 4 team trade allows 2 different teams to absorb, either Tobias and or Simmons separately as well. So that's how it's going to play out. It's very transparent. I understand why they completely want to attach Tobias Harris money to get rid of Simmons, get rid of that sunken cost. Tobias Harris is a straight liability in terms of $40 million. I think that's a really, really bad contract. They had no choice but to go all in when they had the big three there. I understand with Jimmy Butler as well. But yeah, it's hurting them at this point, and they've got to get out of that salary. And I like a Zion, like Simmons, is going to wait out until next season and then force their team. Yeah, you think Zion, like Simmons, is going to wait it out? Definitely, I can see that too. The writing's on the wall, and it's it's coming up. It's coming up. It's a ticking time bomb. And a man-child Zion is a big health question mark. Absolutely. The foot injuries, man, they are dicey for a player built with athleticism, a player that needs that as part of their game to win. And of course, he was sort of drafted as a 3. Now he's become a 4, a bouncy 4 in the league. I mean, we've been watching the game, most of us, for a long, long time, and what player is more unique than Zion Williamson? Like his game, his career so far, it's just been an absolute generational situation right now with this, first overall selection, the money he's getting. They shouted from the rooftops when he went to New Orleans. They stole that draft pick anyway. Maybe karma comes back anyway, and yet Tobias, $40 million trying to get up out of there as well. Like I say, I think 3-4 team trade as well. And in terms of movable money, the New York Knicks have a lot of moving parts that can help a lot of teams that don't have much to move with, right? Miami's pretty strapped. The LA Lakers are pretty strapped right now. So the New York Knicks could get involved, help out a lot of teams, and do some wheeling and dealing as well. And I do think that OKC, Sam Presti has always shown a willingness to get involved. If he can get some more draft picks as well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, whether they want to commit the long-term bag for him. Josh Giddey has come up in here, 6th overall pick, and looked like he got a bright future out there. So OKC, that bears watching around the league, But this situation, this league, right? It's a 24-month. It's a 12-month cycle season, right? There's no off season really in the NBA, right? We're riding and dying through this season, halfway through it. we'll be talking draft or playoffs hopefully in no time. Then it'll be draft. It'll be all over again. Free agency all over again. I'm here for it, and that's what we do. You know what I mean? And the New York Knicks took 2 bad losses, 2 must wins coming up as well. The buzz is increasing. The streets are buzzing. The talk is growing by the day. The Kemba Walker situation. There's a lot of situations that need to pan out, that are going to play out with this team right here. The Obi Toppin thing, the Evan Fournier thing is sort of going the other way, right? Evan Fournier is showing that, you know, he's a contributor for this team as well. And until we need that salary and a huger deal, you know, he could be somebody that sticks around maybe till the off season as well. Maybe they decide to make that big trade, not now, but in the off season as well. So that remains to be seen. The New York Knicks do have a lot of draft assets available still. We have the Dallas pick 2023 as well. That's a nice little trade chip we can dangle as well. We know Dallas would love to get that pick back. There's talk about Jalen Brunson possibly going to New York so that they don't lose him for nothing. And of course, Dallas get their pick back as well. That would be nice. Maybe some trades of some former Knicks on their roster with THJ. Who knows? And yeah, what bothers us is losing at home, man, child. Absolutely, it's tough, man. Losing these games that are very, very winnable to teams that I believe are on our same level, talent-wise, you know, young talent. We're losing to these teams, and that's definitely hurt. It hurts us, you know, as a fan. It hurts us. But at the end of the day, you know, we're only halfway through the season as well. I do believe we've got our best ball ahead of us. I think the New York Knicks do have their best ball in the second half of the season. Evan Fournier starting to play better. Kemba Walker, I think, won't finish the season as a New York Knick. I think that's going to play out. The Obi Toppin thing's going to play out. I think we'll get a resolution with that. I think RJ Barrett is going to finish strong. I think he's really, really going to finish strong in the second half of this season is RJ Barrett. And of course, Cam Reddish is the great unknown for me right now. I just cannot wait to see what his debut, you know, and what the rest of the season looks like, you know, for Cam Reddish. I'm not going to lie, I've got big expectations for Cam, you know, and hopefully he comes out, he gets at least 15, 20 minutes straight off the bat, and he continues to grow with that role, you know, and what he can do for this team, because he's got huge upside. He's got immense upside. He's going to help this team out in so many ways, defensively, offensively. He's going to draw more attention from the defense. His dribble drive game, his passing is an underrated, you know, element as well. And you know, a player's motivated. When he got traded, you know, he got his wish. He's in a new environment now, and I think, you know, that's underrated. When a player gets their wish, you know, he knows he's in New York now, and it's put up or shut up. You know, there's no more trades happening for Cam Reddish. He's here. He got his wish, and like Manchild says, he should eat Taj's minutes as well. Cam could eat Taj's minutes. I would say eat some of Burks and Fournier's minutes as well. You traded a first round pick for the man. Just utilize it. Utilize Cam to his fullest ability right now. We've got nothing to lose right now. He's got talent for days, upside, and he'll do what Fournier does, but more. You know, he'll be more of a threat offensively, I believe. The dribble drive, the athleticism to be able to finish that Evan Fournier doesn't have. Finish in traffic and finish with a dunk as well. We saw Evan Fournier try and finish in traffic. You know, we lack the hops, right, to finish that dunk off. And be civilized. We just need to be consistently. We just need to be consistent from coach to players. New York Knicks, I pray for consistency as well. Yep, absolutely, for our sanity. It's tough taking the loss and then the win, the loss. It's like a seesaw, night after night. Be civilized as well. And when you're 500 ball club, that's what we get. That's what we get for this right now, until we make that bona fide upgrade that just puts us over that next tier like Charlotte, they have a LaMelo Ball, a dude like Gordon Hayward. That's that point of difference. Tonight we saw from Ant Edwards. We're close. We're not far off with Julius RJ. I hope Cam can be that third, second, third offensive go-to guy, that threat that for this season as well. If we don't bring somebody else in as well, and I also wouldn't mind a play for Karis LeVert as well. Karis LeVert, if he can be had on the cheap as well, I think that would be a nice move to make as well for Karis LeVert, and just get more dynamic on the wings. Just continue to get more dynamic. And Tony, I have a feeling the front office wants to make a move on Zion. The Cam trade may have been the first domino as well. Look, connect the dots too. You got to see, they do work quietly, this front office, right? They work in the back channels. However, whenever they make a move, they all have certain consistency, so that you could sort of look at their thinking, their pattern of thinking, and where they're going with this thing, right? They're bringing in dudes that are familiar with the other players as well, and all the players that are rumored to join us as well. So yeah, I could see that being in their plans for sure. Manchild, a contending team might trade for Fournier too. I hope so. I'm here for that. Facts, I'm here for that. Evan Fournier is playing himself into some value for some teams. Absolutely. It's more to do with, I think we may need Fournier for a bigger deal to match salaries as well, rather than just give him for a contending team for a first round pick and matching salary as well. But I think Leon, the fact that Fournier's turned his form around, I think Leon doesn't want to. Perception is very important, and I don't think he wants to part with Fournier on a smaller level deal just to show that it was a mistake. I think he only wants to move Fournier if it's a big deal. They're bringing in a huge star up in here as well. But hey, the best thing about this team is that we have tools. We have the ability to make moves, shaken and bake, in the words of Clyde. Mitchell Robinson could be a nice trade chip too. Do you guys think Mitchell Robinson, Sherwin thinks that the Charlotte Hornets would be really high on him and would like to make a move on him? Do we end up dealing him or signing and trading just so we don't lose Mitch for nothing, right? We could sign and trade him as well. Tony, it's not all bad. I'm enjoying the season. We're rebuilding and trying to stay relevant, which is hard. We will get better. I think the front office will get it done as well. A lot of content in that comment there. Absolutely, I'm enjoying the season as well. It's been tough, challenging. Obviously, ups and downs. The inconsistency is maddening, but there's light at the end of the tunnel that I do see as well with the young players and the flexibility. I agree with you, trying to stay relevant and win games, which is very hard. Trying to stay relevant and rebuild. It's the hardest thing to do in the league right now. And it requires minutes, like we say, it requires minutes for young players, for talent, so that they can continue to shine. But if that can help you win games, that's even better. And I think RJ's been put in positions to shine. He's been given, last second shots. He's been given, plays called for him, things like that. He's going to learn a lot from this season. I think that game winner helped RJ's confidence immensely, will help him grow as a player for the second half of this season. RJ Barrett will be our best player. I'm going to say that for the second half of this season. Overall, I know he's inconsistent at times as well. Like tonight, last night was one of his worst performances. But I think he's the kind of dude that will bounce back. And Manchild, David Griffin is going to play hardball on us since we didn't agree to give him the job back then as well. Absolutely. David Griffin is up against it. When a man's got his back against the wall, what is he going to do, right? He's going to he's going to go in fight or flight survival mode. Is David Griffin, he knows he's a lame duck pretty much, right? He got Zion handed to him. Brandon Ingram's upset over there too. He's in a tough spot. Is David Griffin. And I think, basically David Griffin is going to be a situation that, his legacy is going to be what he did with Zion, and whether he gets another job too, Manchild, whether David Griffin gets another job in the league will depend on what he does in New Orleans as well. Of course, New Orleans could be a rumored franchise to even move cities as well. So there's a lot of moving parts with that one, right? I don't envy the situation he's in. However, do what a Sam Presti did. If Zion don't want to be there, what would you do? I'd call up all 29 teams and I'd say, Zion is available. What you got for me, right? And if you don't start with 5 first-round selections, I'm hanging up as well. So at the end of the day, there could be a situation where you could recover, and get some assets. And I appreciate you, Tony, in the chat. This is the chat show. I love all the interaction, bouncing off everybody, and give you guys the voice. New York Knicks fans, your opinions, thoughts, and everything. I do learn a lot from everybody too. It's humbling and it's also fun. At the same time, hearing everybody's thoughts about the situation. Right. What a league, what a sport, what a game this thing is. As well, we could talk about this thing for all day long, basically, as well. But we all got to get our rest and our shine, so we can get our shine on the next day. So with that, I'll wind up, for this morning, for tonight, wherever you're watching. The New York Knicks season, the bumpy road continues, but let's stay locked in. We all got the streets buzzing out here. The platforms are doing well. New York Knicks platforms, pods, community out there, everyone's doing amazing work, as well as the chat, keeping everybody going. There's so much content out here, and it's only going to pop. Things about to blow up in terms of the next big move that Leon Rose makes for this club. We follow the games each and every day, but the next big move's coming, right? It's coming, and B Civilized says the Hawks played angry ball tonight. Yeah, after losing to us and the Bucks, they're beating the Bucks at the ATL. I saw that as well. Let's hope we come out angry. We need to hit Detroit with our biggest haymaker, right? And beat the Clippers, because after that, it becomes tough. It's sink or swim for this season, right? In this next stretch as well. So keep it on lock. More shows, more content coming at you all week. Let's get it after the Detroit game as well. Hopefully we're talking about a dub as well. But we'll continue to talk the positives. We'll continue to talk with things we like and dislike as well. It's not all bad and it's not all good, whether we win or lose. There's plenty to chop up, and we'll definitely continue to do that as we do on the streets are buzzing as well. So appreciate you. Go New York, go as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.